This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Welcome to the X&C Podcast. A little bit new intro. Got some of my favorite games in there. A couple of Mag's favorite games. We are back, and the gaming news it's crazy. This is episode 164. We are live on YouTube, and we are available on Spotify and Apple iTunes podcasts and a bunch of other platforms that I've never used before. But Meg, how are you this fine Monday?
I am doing fantastic. I just wanted to say thank you for the 65,000 people that came to check out my latest video. I was super happy about that. I didn't expect that kind of traffic, but hey, me and my underwear brings a lot of people to the yard. What can I say? So, just the way it goes. And also, one of the platforms that we are on is also Pornhub. So check it out, Pornhub, Colteastwood, Mag. We're not in the same videos, but we are on there. So go check that out. Anyways, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. A lot of gaming news, a lot of things to discuss, good and bad. You know how it is. It's just a balance of both, buddy. So let's get into the show. We got things to talk about.
Yeah. It's been interesting. We just want to stay home. We just spent all weekend at PAX. A lot of cool stuff. I'll talk about that briefly, but before we do that, oh darn, I forgot to bring in my PAX mouse pad cover thing. It's really cool. Anyway, yeah, it's been good. What have you been playing, Mag?
Well, not a whole lot because I've been sort of busy, but I have been digging my nails deeper into First Ascendant, and I'm really enjoying it. What can I say? I'm unapologetic about it. Also, on the only Xbox side this weekend, I was playing a whole lot of the Black Ops 6 beta, which I wouldn't mind talking about for a few minutes and see. Did you play any of it at all? I know you were at PAX. I know you're at PAX West, but okay. So yeah, so I played a lot of the beta, and very disappointed, by the way. It got like thousands of people on Xbox. Not one person invited me to a party or anything. I was pretty sad. Anyways, played a lot of that, and I'll go into details about that later, about my thoughts and opinions on the game so far. I mean, it's just like a corner of the game, right, that they gave us.
Well, tell us now, because there should be some Call of Duty Black Ops 6 coverage, since I didn't even touch the game. Yeah.
Okay. What they gave us. Oh, first of all, it feels like Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like there was a really excellent training mode area where you get to do with the new thing, like the directional flip flopping, whatever. You flop on the ground, you could dive through a door, you could do like the Max Payne thing where you jump through a door, turn around, and like waste a guy, which, by the way, in like a real life scenario in the game, it's like you got to be like next level to do that. So you got to be like that esports kind of level to be like whatever. But
you imagine you do one jump and then you just knock the wind out of yourself and
yeah, forget it. I like, even in the game, I wouldn't be able to pull it off. But anyways, in the tutorial, I was able to do it. Interesting new mechanics. I like that you can dive backwards onto the ground and shoot while you're on the ground. It gives you a better, you know what I mean? It gives you like a better dynamic of being able to face an enemy. Exactly, right? So, here's my thing though. You didn't get to pick your modes, as far as I saw anyway. I mean, like, they just kind of threw you in whatever mode. It was like a mosh pit, whatever. So you either got like team deathmatch, you got domination, that kind of stuff. And they just kind of threw you in there, and that was that. Obviously, no campaign. Obviously, no zombies. It was just that snippet just to get the feel for it and whatever else. Guns feel great. Sound is great, as usual. I found...
How's the camera shake, buddy? When I played the last one, the camera shake, I was like, oh my gosh, am I getting too old for this? How's it feel?
Now, here's the thing. I was actually wondering about that. The camera shake with the running, it seemed a little overly jiggly to me.
Okay. Oh,
like,
when you're running.
It was, you know what I mean? Like when you're...
Define jiggly.
Well, think about it, Colt. When are you not running in Call of Duty? Basically, You're sprinting the entire time, and then occasionally you might crouch and go around a corner. But the rest of the time, you're sprinting. So I found it to be a little bit overly jiggly. I'll leave it at that. And like, you're looking at it, and the gun's going boing, 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 and I'm going,
oh, even the gun moves. Okay.
I'm just like, okay, does this seem a little overly jiggly to me, or am I just like, it's just been a while since I played Call of Duty? Like, the last time I played online,
last year.
I would say about 6 months ago,
Yeah.
I was still playing Modern Warfare 3. So I'm wondering if it was just being out of the game for 6 months that I got used to like first ascendant, third person, action shooter kind of thing.
Was it jiggly like first descendant jiggly, or was it
No,
mag take it to the limit jiggly?
no, take it to the limit. Limit.
I had that song in my head all weekend when you dropped that.
Hey man, what am I supposed to do? No, it seemed like it was really shaky. Again, I haven't played Call of Duty in 6 months, so it probably just need to get my eyes used to it. I found the left to right camera a little bit too much of a swing to it. Like you would just tap and just tap it in.
Just tap it, tap,
Just
tap.
tap it in. Just give it a little tappy. Tap-a-roo to the left. And all of a sudden the camera would just wildly swing. And I'm like, yo! I'm like, can we calm down? So I turned the sensitivity down, and I still found it to be a little bit too wild. Vertical, no problem. Like looking up and down, I had no issues with the camera there. But for some reason, the left and right swung way too wildly. Again, maybe it's just I've been out of practice with Call of Duty. And then the other thing is, and I put a tweet up about this, which I thought was really funny. Watching other people playing while you're on the field, and like let's say like I'm on the second floor balcony, I'm watching all these gunfights going on.
Yeah.
The flopping around because of this new
everybody's just like,
dude, it's so effing stupid. I'm watching it from up above going, look at you idiots. This is not like, it looks so funny. They're going boing, 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 boing. It's like 20 dolphins out of water, all flopping down the staircase, flopping up, flopping over a grand piano, flopping over a couch, flopping at the bar, flopping on the floor. And I'm going, what is this? And I think it's just a combination of it's a new mechanic that people are just like, okay, well, let's try it out. Or I can't see people playing like that all the time. There's no way.
That's always bothered me in competitive shooters when people would just Halo jump. And it looks ridiculous because people would never do that in a real combat scenario. They're more likely to jump Max Payne style, like, hey, than they would be to bunny hop.
It's a game.
It's a game.
It's a game. I get it. I mean, I understand it's a game. And I'm not looking for realism when it comes to that kind of stuff. But watching everybody flopping vertically, horizontally over stuff, flopping down the stairs, doing because everybody's trying out that multi-directional dive mechanic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when everybody's doing it and you're just standing there, like, I don't even care about killing anybody. I'm just standing there watching going, would you look at this? It is so stupid. I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Real.
So I was just like, I put up a tweet about it. I'm like, guys, boots on the ground, man. Come on. And then someone brought up Advanced Warfare. And then like, remember Advanced Warfare with the wall running? And
that was like all the rage back in 2014 or 15.
It was the wall running double jump thing. And remember, you play all online and you're looking around, and everybody's going, psh, 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 and you're like, okay. Am I like, what am I shooting at here? Anyways, it's the first beta, so let's not get excited. Either way,
did you like it?
It's going to be great. I loved it. No, I loved it. I loved it.
Okay.
No, I loved it. I'm not bitching because I didn't like it. I'm giving my critique as to what I found hilarious. And what I found hilarious was the dolphin flopping.
Yep.
And but everything else was great. Like, I mean, like I said, it played, and then the camera was a little bit loose. But other than that, everything else was fantastic. I mean, it's Call of Duty, man. Like, Call of Duty is always solid. Like, even the worst Call of Duties are still really good.
I got two questions for you. One from that blue number who super chats in $2 and says,
"Hey,
Meg, was the Jiggly stellar?"
The Jigglies in First Descendant are stellar. The Jigglies in Blade, what the hell is that game? Stellar Blade are stellar. The Call of Duty Jigglies are the guns and like the camera. So it's kind of like as if you're drunk and someone's piggyback running home with you. That's what it feels like. So when they're running, you're like going like this. There. You're going like this. You go, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. It's like that, and that's kind of how it felt like. So, like I said, I've been out of practice for 6 months, so I was wondering if it was just getting back used to, just me getting used to the look and feel of Call of Duty. Give it a couple days, and all of a sudden you're flying again, right? And all of a sudden you're back in the game, and you're back up to 120 FPS and you're just ripping through people and this and that. Because my son and I play, and we dominated the hell out of Modern Warfare 3. Every time we play, I took screenshots, put them all over Twitter. Every time we played, it was him or me, him or me, him or me, 1 and 2 every match. We just love, I love Call of Duty, but you fall out of practice for 6 months, you forget, right? You know what I mean? It's just, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm excited for it.
The other question,
zombies.
Before you,
yes.
Oh wait, no, this is still part of, this goes in. So let's keep going. Sorry. The zombies.
I'm just saying I'm excited for like the game in general because
okay.
I love the Cold War campaign. One of my favorite campaigns of all time. I obviously love round-based zombies. I don't like that open world crap that they put in Modern Warfare 3 was absolutely atrocious. So I'm glad that they're done with that. But anyways, what's up?
The question is, do you think this will be a good Call of Duty?
Hell yeah. It's going to be a major Call of Duty. I think it's going to be one of the best ones. That's my guess. That's my, like I said, the campaign looks hot. The zombies looks hot. The multiplayer, they rarely miss with that. And I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to, honestly, my guess, I think it'll be a 9 out of 10 Metacritic. I think it's going to be a big Call of Duty.
What? Really?
I think so.
And the last one was like a 5.5 or 53 or something.
Yeah, but Modern Warfare 3 wasn't really a game. It was just like, okay, let's take Warzone and stretch it out into a campaign, basically, because that's what they did. They basically gave you like, chunks of like Warzone maps. And they're like, all right, go to A to B and like do some stuff in between. It wasn't really a thing. So I don't know. That's just me.
Oh, okay.
But I think this is going to be a 9 out of 10, man. That's my guess.
Dang. My guess. Okay. Well, I mean, if you feel like that, I mean, maybe this could be in the 8s, which would be a nice jump from where it was. But
absolutely. I'm sort of overshooting by saying 9, but yeah, you're right. I would think mid 80s to high 80s. I think it'll land somewhere in there. And like I said, the campaign's got a lot to do with that. Like, you got a campaign with heart. You got a great campaign with heart. That's what sells people too, right? Don't let these other. I was about to say a bad word. It's only 17 minutes in. Don't let these other people be like, all we need is multiplayer. Bliggity blah, bloggity blee.
They can.
Like, well, go play Warzone and go play just that. But I'm telling you, you need that emotional, big powerhouse campaign with a big story. You need that Michael Bay, production. You need all the explosions. And then, of course, the guy that looks like Robert Redford. Great character from Cold War. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Robert Redford / Kurt Russell is what he looks like to me.
Yeah.
A mix.
He's got that.
It's that 80s. It's that 80s look, right? Yeah.
Well, he was amazing in Cold War. I mean, if you remember Cold War, I played that campaign 3 times, I think, because I loved it so much. And he was a great character in there. And the fact that he's back, I'm like, sold. I'm sold. I'm sold up front. Whatever. Take my money. Charge me $100. Don't care if it's a Game Pass. Charge me $100 on top of Game Pass. Do it.
Yeah, I went to play Cold War, and my daughter had played the entire campaign on my account. And I'm like, continue. And they normally don't play on my Xbox, but yeah, she was like really hooked on the Cold War campaign.
Cold War, and even the Cold War multiplayer was incredible. I played with Percolator. I know you're out there. Him and I played a lot of Cold War online together, and that was a big game. I was a huge game for that. I loved it.
Yeah.
This will be no different. I feel that this is going to be a great entry.
Well, the big Xbox versus PlayStation Metacritic or OpenCritic review score really hinges on how well Astrobot's going to do. I'm going to talk about Astrobot in just a second. Well, I'm not going to talk about Astrobot. I'm just going to mention it in passing because you didn't ask me what I was playing because I'm still playing Red Dead Redemption. It's fine because if you let me, I would sit here and just talk about a 6-year-old game. But I just have to say that I'm in the last, 5 hours of the epilogue, which is going to take me 5 hours because I'm just living it. It's one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. And the second playthrough has completely cemented that it does it. I don't even want to get into it. It's so amazing. I'm so glad I'm playing it. The next time I'm going to play is Star Wars Outlaws. I played a couple of hours and then I was like, the first mission really sucks. The second one was kind of good. I'm like, okay, I kind of had fun with that. There's really discerning opinions about Star Wars Outlaws. And many of you are probably watching the show are wondering, should I get Star Wars Outlaws? Is that my next game? Should I wait for a sale? And I think maybe most people should wait for a sale because it's like in the mid to high 70s. But if I don't know. They just say it nails the feel of Star Wars and the tone. So if that's your thing, like if you're Red Wolf, he's like absolutely not. He played 4 hours of it. He shout out to him in the chat, and it couldn't click. But I was talking to Holly, that blue number in the chat, and she's really enjoying it, and I enjoyed my short time with it. So I was messing around with those, but I spent all weekend at PAX, and interestingly enough, out touching grass, enjoying a really, really cool event.
They had grass inside PAX? That's weird.
Actually, yes, there was a little lawn area for your pets. No, I took the ROG Ally with me because I thought if there was downtime, I would play Red Dead Redemption. I got like 20 minutes in. I just want to give you guys a quick rundown of PAX. Xbox had 0 presence at PAX, which makes me just want to scratch the very top of my head, whatever is up there. And I don't know why they don't have a presence at PAX. They just did this massive.
What is wrong with you, Xbox?
Well, they just did this huge.
Yes. Wasn't it in Seattle?
It's in Seattle. It's literally 20 minutes from their Redmond offices.
Okay, it's outside their front door. They couldn't just wheel out a couple of consoles?
I don't understand. They did this. They do the biggest thing ever at Gamescom in Germany. They also co-located in LA, which I was invited to, but I couldn't go because we were at the beach. Plus, I mean, that's where I really wanted to be. Was
nude beach, by the way. I just like to point that out.
I don't know why they just didn't say, hey, whatever we're doing at Gamescom, how much of that can we fit into the floor at the Seattle Convention Center?
On your home turf.
I don't know.
Where I mean, I understand if you're trying to get a bigger presence in Europe because their European presence is very poor. But when you're on your home turf and you're doing fairly well in console sales or whatever, especially in the United States specifically.
They're doing really well in the US, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I would think that maybe you would have a bigger presence there to maybe get some more people on board. I don't know. What the hell do I know? Anyways, carry on.
Yeah, shout out to Special Nick in the chat. It's good to see him
Special
there.
Nick?
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, he got to hang out with Gaz in London. Sorry about that, Nick.
Yeah, dude, my apologies. Oh, geez, I just got shivers.
Put him on the FBI list, too, which always sucks. No presence for Xbox at the event, which was crazy. PlayStation's not there, but they have some sort of representation. They have like their sort of third-party games that are all over the place at PAX. I wanted to run down quickly some standout games that would really surprise you guys. That I went with my wife and I went with my 13-year-old son. He has like a little Minecraft YouTube channel, and I say little because he's like working on it, and it's really cool to see him do that. But he really likes games, and he likes a lot of these really creative games. So we got to see a whole bunch. He had this whole list of stuff he wanted to see. But some of the big highlights of PAX that I have to like, this definitely isn't wasting your time if I talk about this, but there's a massive Capcom booth. I'll just say first, Dead Rising Remaster visually looks, and the way I didn't get to play it because I signed up for the Capcom thing and they haven't even approved me yet. Dead Rising Remaster actually looks and feels from I was watching you guys play it forever. I'm going to play that game. I like those games. They did a pretty good job. It looks and feels like modern-ish. Like it looks pretty good.
All right.
It still has that blocky look a little bit. The visuals are, you guys don't care, right? I just want to say that if you are a Dead Rising fan, you can probably be excited about the remaster, and hopefully it's a good price. I think I'm going to pick it up. It looks cool, and they had a couple of fake arcade cabinets where you could play the game with the PS5 controller.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, but awesome. Awesome.
You know that's actually the game that got me into the Xbox ecosystem, eh?
Is it?
Because that is the game. Because I was watching, I didn't even have a 360. I didn't have an original Xbox. I wasn't interested. I had a PS2, which at that point, I don't think I touched for almost a year. So I basically, there was almost a year where I wasn't really gaming. And except for like in like the bars and stuff, like after work, they had like an NFL blitz or like what the hell's that one with the gun? I got it right there. Oh, the Buck Hunter. Sorry, I couldn't remember the name. I'm like, the cabinet's behind me. Look.
Well, he said that like a million times.
Yeah, and I forgot the name. Anyways, I wasn't playing many console games at home, and I wasn't PC gaming. So I'm watching TV, and I see this commercial for this zombie game, and it says Capcom presents, and I'm like, Capcom? And like Resident Evil is one of my favorite series of all time, right? So I sit up on the couch, right, and I'm like, what's this? And I see the visuals, I see the game, and I'm like, holy crap, what is this? And then it says Dead Rising. It was in a mall. Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite movies of all time. Favorite horror movies of all time. Takes place in a mall. Obviously, it was an homage and a tip to the cap to that.
Mhm.
And then it says on the screen, isn't that weird, kids, how exclusives work? It said only on Xbox 360. I swear to God, not even 48 hours later, I went to the GameStop. At that time, it was called EB Games. And I bought an Xbox 360 and Dead Rising. And that's how I got into the Xbox ecosystem. Was that game, that commercial on TV. There you go. Sorry, there's my backstory, folks. Go ahead. And that's how my journey started. Isn't that wild?
I didn't play the first two. I played 3 when the Xbox One came out. It was the ugliest game ever at that time. It was like sub 720p, 30 frames. It was just really chunky looking, but I loved it to death. And then when 4 came out, I was the only person that liked Dead Rising 4. I adore that game. And that blue number in the chat also loves it. What's that?
Was that the Christmas one?
Yeah, I love that game so much.
And it even, there's nothing more rewarding than like, decimating bodies and basically decapitating people and dismembering people to Nat King Cole singing Christmas songs.
It's so perfect.
It was wonderful. I loved it. It was schlocky and ridiculous, and it was exactly what zombieism should be. Extremely gory. It should be like an allegory for our human behavior, and then at the same time has to be a little bit schlocky and silly. It nailed it perfectly.
Yeah, it's the juxtaposition is what makes it so amazing. That you've got this. It's like what I love about Fallout. You got the really nice Christmas music, the mall scene. You're picking up like a candy cane and stabbing people. It's incredible. I just updated the rolling ticker for topics. It's something I forget sometimes, but it's there. It's there. You can see that ticker. You can like it. So let me talk about. I was trying to say Dead Rising. Yeah, we got on a Dead Rising tangent.
You were doing the PAX West thing. You stopped by that booth, but what else?
Monster Hunter Wilds, bro.
Oh, okay. How's that?
I couldn't play it because it had the second to the longest line, and I'll get to the longest line in just a moment to play a game. Monster Hunter Wilds looks so next level, and I'm not really a fan of the series, but I cannot wait for this game. Just everything about the movement, the animations, the way the clothing moves, the fur, the scales, everything looks so next level. People were just piling around the booth to get a look at this game and play it, and we even climbed up on the chocobo type thing. If I'm saying that word right from Final Fantasy, the chicken hawk thing you ride.
Yeah. I think it's a chocobo, chocapoo, whatever.
Brad War Fight's gonna have like a field day with us saying that. Hold on, let me look at the chat. Anybody saying what it is? I think it's Chocoboo. But anyway, Monster Hunter Wilds looks so fantastic. It's probably the most impressive thing I saw at the show from PAX. Some other things I have to call out. I got to play. I had a appointment with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I talked to this. I forgot where this studio's from, but this European developer looked like he came right out of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla game. Looked like a freaking Viking with the mustache and the beard, and he was burly and everything. And he talked to me. He's like, here's what you're going to do. There's where you are in the game. This is what we're going to do for the, and they had me on a little PC and playing the game with an Xbox controller, and the visuals look like I've been playing Red Dead on PC, and the visuals looking fantastic, but the language and the attention to detail, like they really capture 14th century Europe. It's so crazy. Ooh. And I didn't play the first one, so I played the most inane mission. He's like, you're going to talk to this German guy named Schwaxenforce, and he's going to ask you to go sneak into the hall and steal a sword and hang it up out front, which is a signal to, not this is embargoed, thankfully, that this is a signal that we challenge you to a duel, and then you're going to, it was a whole thing. Really great.
You to a duel. Noisy mofo, that's not a nice thing to say. he said, I don't know, Special Nick was saying something about me pretending to like you or something. I don't know. Or I think it was about Gaz. And he says, does Mag really like anyone? Of course I do. Well, I like everybody except for you now, Noisy Mofo. You're now in the naughty list.
Yeah.
Not on the naughty list the way I like keep my girls. The girls on the naughty list. That's a different story. But my wife's listening. Be quiet. Noof Nukem, what's up, buddy?
Nobody listens to this show.
Back to PAX West. Go for it.
Yeah, back to PAX West. Thank you. So yeah, I got to play probably the worst mission they could have shown us, where there wasn't really any exploration or combat, but talking to characters, but the game looks really impressive. I played a couple of like little gems. There was this rally game I played that's kind of like a dirt game, but the visuals are kind of simplified, so that was pretty cool. There was a Codename TCT game. What I learned at PAX, Mag, was I've been at PAX. This is my 3rd year. I see games at PAX that look so cool and get their own place on the floor, and they've still never come out, or they've been canceled, or we never see them again. And I'm like, oh yeah, what happened to that one game? And I put some of these games in videos, and they're like gone. Like maybe the studio got shut down, maybe they got hush money from I don't know. It's really sad that all these developers, they go to Seattle or they go to these conventions to show off their game. And then I'm like, whatever happened to that one game? It's kind of like a Souls type game. Never came out. So some of these games may never see the light of day, but I got to play them. There's this game called Herdlings that looked kind of like Everwild. Everwild visuals. You're this character with like a cloak on and a staff, and you herd animals through this waving wheat fields and mountainsides. And I don't know what you do, but I think you're supposed to herd animals in. But every time I walk by it, I'm like, Herdlings. It looks so like, I don't know how to explain it. Infinity Nikki had a massive, the center of this castle, like, this, like Infinity Nikki is huge. It's going to be a viral game for PlayStation. And I don't even know what you do. I think you take pictures of cats or something. But there's your report from that.
That's pretty dope.
And then
yeah.
Red Wolf says, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm going to try. I want to speed through this because I don't want to bore people because I'm just saying it. You can't really see it. Red Wolf, thank you for the $2 super chat. Did you play Stalker 2? If not, make something up. Yes. In Stalker 2, you get to grind rails like Tony Hawk on your shoes. You grind rail around Chernobyl and you pick up coins. And the faster you go, the more points you get. And that's Stalker 2. I got to play it. No, I didn't get to play it. Stalker 2 was the most popular, longest line. They had 5 stations to play. And this guy was holding a card with Sharpie that said, 4-hour wait. The whole time I was there. 4 hours. So yeah, no, couldn't even touch Stalker. And wow. I couldn't make an appointment for it because it just was like first come, first serve. So Stalker is like.
Did you see it from a distance?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was standing there like I could reach out and flick something on it, you know.
Okay, so like, how did it look?
It looks, of course, it looks really nice. A lot of people were walking around scanning with the little Ghostbusters thing, and there wasn't a lot of combat. And Risk It for the Biscuit, one of your favorite content creators, Mag, said that.
Oh God, yeah. Don't tell me he was there.
Oh, heavenly hash. Risk It said he played it. Can you imagine what?
What?
Sorry.
What is he talking about? What is he going on?
He said that he played it at Gamescom, and he says it doesn't demo well because you just want to kind of like go around and live in the world. And Red Wolf can tell you this. He's made made one big Stalker video on this. That it's like a world you get immersed in, and you just have to. You can't really jump in. Like, what can I shoot? So he said it doesn't demo very well, but people were loving being in line for that game. So anyway, let me see if there's anything else before I move on.
What, from PAX West? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, one last one was this game called My Pet Hooligan. It's a third-person arena shooter, but it's outside, like in like a suburban area or downtown area where. I just contradicted myself. But it's like Plants vs. Zombies meets Fortnite, but you're like a little cat or a bunny, and you have like handguns, and you run around and you're fighting against people online. They were doing it online through the server, like right there. So it was a square pillar, and each person on all 4 sides was fighting each other in person.
That's so weird.
But it had a really cool art style. Just looked like a cartoon, and you play as like cartoon bunnies and cats. And it's called My Pet Hooligan. So I saw all these games. There's like lots of little games. Like there's one where they're like, yeah, this is our game where you dance to fight the evil corporation. There's no violence or anything, but you get to dance, and your best dance moves will destroy the evil robots that are keeping down the oppression, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh gosh, get me out of here.
Oh, wow. That's I hope you didn't have to wait in line for that. Especially with a lot of sweaty, like overweight people like in front of you and behind you. And then like, I bet you the biggest line there was either for the bathroom or for the hot dog stand. But anyways, that's just me.
To be perfectly honest, those are the same line, Mag. the hot dog stand
well,
and the so.
Yep.
But in all seriousness, like every developer I talk to, they're so excited to be there. And I was super nice to the guy that said that the game had a cool art style. It looked like Jet Set Radio, and you do these dance move combinations. I was like, oh, do you like rack up combination? You don't have. He goes, you don't have to dance. You don't have to do certain things. You don't have to do crazy stuff. But I said, if you do like big combos and keep it changing, you get bigger points and stuff. He goes, yeah, it gets better and better. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I kept it moving. But there's a lot of stuff there. But that was good. PAX, and my feet hurt from walking around and standing around.
I told you on the weekend, you need to get on that treadmill, buddy. Let's go.
It's not the treadmill. I need to get marshmallow shoes. Do they have such, like, can I just put like jumbo marshmallows inside my shoes?
Well, they do have like really squishy shoes out there, but they're not good for you. You're supposed to have like harder shoes, not harder shoes, but like maybe you need sporthotics.
Okay, Dr.
That you could like slide it. Yeah, exactly. Like slide into your shoes and then you'll be better. So now that you were talking about PAX West, let me address 5 things in less than 1 minute. Magnum, I do like you. I do like you.
No, he doesn't.
No, I do like you, Magnum.
Yeah, I do
he's
too.
funny. And he's in all, and you know what the funny thing is? And no matter what show I'm listening to, he's always there in the chat. Now, as for who I don't like.
Hold that.
Yes.
Don't let you forget that. Magnum, I've demoed a ton of cool games. There's some stuff I walk by and go, I wouldn't really like that. Some stuff my son really liked, but no, I actually really enjoyed the stuff I demoed.
That's dope.
Yeah, I can't even cover all of it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You were saying Magnum.
Oh, no, Magnum. Yeah, I do like you. Nukem, to answer your question, I was, you missed the beginning of the show. I was actually on Xbox for most of the weekend playing the Black Ops 6 beta, so I did that. And Kevin Deone 69's his mother, whatever your name is here. He says this thing. He's like, "Oh, Meg goes on this show, and then he goes on Mooch's podcast and talks shit about Xbox." I talk shit about Xbox right here.
Yeah,
and
he does.
Mooch's show and Brap and whatever show I do and MM2K or wherever I am. I will always tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me goodness. So that's the way I'm going to be. And as for your little cronies here, what is it, Desert Storm Andy? Don't expose him. Who else is in here? I'm waiting for it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we got into and Noisy Mofo. By the way, don't worry about it, dude.
Connor
I made
says
a correction. He meant to say it was Gaz.
Connor says Mag is not mean. Thank you. No,
I'm not mean at all.
No, he's not. And I was on Gaz's show a couple weeks ago. He said, man, you really go raw. This like his words, like you go raw in on Xbox. I go, yeah, like when they're doing stuff I don't like, I have to say something because they told me they're listening. And he's like, I didn't realize. I'm like, I've been telling you, Mag and I try to like keep it 100. Like if there's stuff we don't like, or if there's stuff we're excited about, like we say it with the whole chest. And he's like, well, watch the show.
The only difference is on this show, I try not to swear. When I get on some of those other shows, I get a little more raw because I'm allowed to. And not that I'm allowed to, it's just that it's a different sort of demographic, right? So I just said the SH word here. It kind of slipped out. But by the way, it slipped through the chat. Hey, did you notice that? You notice how like a lot of that stuff gets blocked by moderators or whatever. Like you have that algorithm that blocks out swear words and stuff.
And we have great moderators.
We do. That word slipped through your it slipped through the security. It was right there.
It slipped through. Through.
Anyways, a lot of people say, "Oh, he's doom and glooming. Colt is doom and glooming." They're doing, and I'm like, "No, we're just telling the truth." And if they do something great, great. If they do something bad, bad. If Indy Jones is a 9 out of 10, you're going to hear about it. It's good. We're going to talk about how great it is and whatever and our great experiences. But you know what? The last 3 years, 2 years have not been great. So you're going to hear about that and whatever. The difference is sometimes when you go on another show that angles in a different direction, the questions are different. The questions are different.
Yep.
And therefore the answers are different. So it makes it seem like we're two different people.
It's not just that. The perception is different because of the scenario you're in, right?
But I'm saying the questions are angled in a different way, and they're like, answer that question. Well, I'm answering the question in the way that it's presented to me. And if you can't figure out that, I'm amazed you're smart enough to even figure out how to get onto YouTube. Anyhow,
Pokemon 69 says, in 10 years, will Mag change his name to OAGG?
OAGG, what the hell is that? Old ass gamer guy? Well, I already got tattoos all down my arm for Mag. And look at this. All my whole left forearm, all the way down from elbow to wrist, is also all mag stuff.
Yeah, but in 10
So,
years, those tattoos will be all moved to your neck.
like drooping off the edge of my fingers, like the
Like a
acid guy
Sharpay?
from RoboCop.
Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much PAX.
I'm glad you had a good time, dude. I'm glad you had a good time.
It was good. It was good. The crazy thing is we went to the zoo Sunday afternoon, and I was so spent. I was like, "Can I get a motorized scooter?"
What did you go to Disney World?
No, we're just in Seattle, so we went to the zoo. And
No, sorry, I was just making
5 minutes in, we see this amazing giraffe, and I'm like, I can go home. I'm good. I've seen a giraffe. I'm done.
Giraffes are magnificent animals, and actually, I will show you privately. I adopted one. Not obviously in my home. I adopted one at the zoo. The Metro Toronto Zoo. You can adopt.
Mag's like, I'm going to send you a DM. We have one in our backyard. We have to let the trees grow tall. Don't tell anybody.
All the leaves. It's getting ridiculous. No, I adopted one. You go to the Metro Toronto Zoo. I'm sure other zoos do that too. You could either sponsor them or you can adopt them.
You have to pay for their college and stuff.
Well, I paid for his college. And I
Did you pay for his meals when he got let go from Toys R Us?
He was actually hey, Toys R Us is still, by the way, they're still open in Canada. It's just you guys.
Oh, okay.
So there's a Toys R Us literally down the street from me. They're open and good to go. Yes. He has an African name. I cannot remember the name, and I have a framed picture of him, and it shows, and they keep you updated. You can go visit him if you want. You can go visit him in the private habitat with the handlers and stuff like that, and then that's it. You just pay to, whatever. So
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be
adopted a giraffe. I love giraffes. The giraffes are like one of my favorite animals of all time.
Okay. I'll just say that I'm very impressed. I'm very happy for you.
Next to Sphinx cats. I love Sphinx cats, which I have 2 of them.
Oh, okay. Yes, you do. And you need to let me know when that cat jumps on your lap again. We do have gaming news to talk about. One thing that I didn't go to the Phil story time. Oh, it's time for Phil story time. Everyone gather around. Phil's going to tell some stories. I didn't go to that.
Wait a minute. Did you say stories? Stories are lies. Hello, how you doing?
Sorry. Mag!
What?
Magnum, take note that he just took a shot at Phil.
It's just a joke. On platforms where Game Pass exists. On platforms where Game Pass exists. On platforms where Game Pass exists. Sorry, I just keep repeating that over and over and over and over and over. Those games aren't Starfield or Indiana Jones. Those Starfield or Indiana Jones. Carry on, Colt. Tell me about the story time.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry,
Cool Man
Phil,
says Mag just paid for giraffe exclusivity. Let me grab some supers. I want to talk about the Phil thing, but I don't want to dive too far in before I do that because they're kind of piling up here. What?
Go for it. I was just gonna say I didn't have any first-party games this year, so I had the Moneyhat third-party exclusive, which of course is the giraffe. Carry on.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. B. Martin says, "What's up, Colt and Mag? Let's have a great show tonight, gentlemen. Thank you so much, and welcome Lotus Esprit to early access. Join the channel membership. It's good to see you here. They're always a beacon of happiness. We got Face 23 Brooklyn, New York, who's got that's what I call him. It's BKNY. That's what I've called him for like 5 years. He's been a mainstay of the Xbox podcast chats. He says with a $20 super chat, he says PS5 Pro is equivalent to a 7700 XT, closer to an RTX 4060. Okay. You had me at 7700 XT. I'm like 7700 XT. I'm like, that's impressive. Closer to a RTX 4060 for $600. Well, we're going to talk about that. Maybe we might jump into that in just a moment since we did this one. He says $600 price point, November release date. I agree. I can't wait to see Xbox fans' reaction to games running on it compared to the Series X. Well, I mean, this is the equivalent of saying, I don't know. You're getting a bigger GPU as an upgrade. You've got the same CPU that you have in the PS5. So it's going to be quite a bit more expensive. And games are going to run better on it because it costs way more and it's newer and it's more powerful. I don't know what to tell you, but get a PC. That's what I tell you. You should probably.
Well, you know the thing, someone else mentioned that today. Speaking of which, talking about get a PC, and it's like, okay, but if you were looking to play PlayStation first party day one, you will not be able to play that on PC. So
Correct.
that is the only caveat that I can say about not getting a PC. That if you are interested in that PlayStation, I mean, if you got a PC, you're going to play Xbox day one. You're going to play Steam games day one. You're going to play third party day one, but you will not play PlayStation day one. So if you want that fourth option, being the PlayStation first party, then you would probably angle towards the Pro instead of a PC, because if you want those games day one, if you could wait,
if you're a PS5 owner, you should
get a PC.
You should get an upgrade. You should upgrade. If like you're a diehard, you play all the PlayStation games, you want the first party games day one, you should upgrade to a PS5 Pro. And if you can get $400 trade in on your PS5, definitely go buy a Pro for $700.
If you guys get incredible trade-ins. Our trade-ins are garbage compared to you guys. Because I heard Forte talking the other day saying I think they were getting $350 or $375 US for trade-in for a PS5, and I'm like, we barely get $300 Canadian, which is like $260 American. I'm like, how are you guys getting $100 more trade-in for the same product?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the Pro up here is going to be $800. That's tax in. Right, because my guess is that it'll be $699. Because it's gonna be my guess is the digital is gonna be $599 without the disc drive.
Okay,
and I don't need the disc drive, so it'll be $599 for the disc
Here's
drive.
Here's why I vary.
Canadian, and then about $100 tax up here on a $700 purchase. Right, so you're looking at $800 bucks up here. So to get a trade-in, for me, it's not even worth it. What I'm gonna do is any consoles that I'm not using, I'm going to just sell them on Facebook Marketplace for $300 or $350
and get stabbed.
And I'm not me. Please.
You're like, take it to the limit.
Yeah. Take it to the limit. I'm going to show up in my underwear and the robe that I wore in the video. Let me see you stab that. I'll stab you with something else, and it'll be easily available. Anyways, the thing is,
you didn't even have to open the front door.
Yeah. When it comes to electronics, the police department around here. There's 2 police departments in where I live, and they have 2 parking spots that are in the front of the police station, right by the doors, and they are literally reserved. I don't know if you guys have this. They're reserved for online purchasers, so you could do your trades at the police station in front of their cameras. So if you're trading in like a PC, like $1,000 graphics card you're selling, and you think you're gonna get stabbed in the ribs and then get stolen because they want to meet you behind the Denny's at 3 a.m. Nope. You say sorry, police station, wherever, and then they have 2 parking spots designated for online purchasing, and they're watching with the camera and a sniper on the roof, obviously, which is Colteastwood. How cool is that? So I could stand. Dude, got your ass.
Oh my gosh. Cop jumps down, grabs the money and the PS5.
Can you imagine the cops come out and do that? Yeah, they're like, there he is. He's got that PS5. Then the cops come out and they're like, hi, what's going on here? And then they clobber you both and they take the money and the PS5 and go inside. And
take it to the limit. Hold the PS5.
They erase the video. We didn't do anything.
I put up a poll. How much is the PS5 Pro?
In American, I'm going to say $600 without the disc, $700 with the disc.
Okay, let me tell you what I think the PS5 Pro is. And
sure,
I'm kind of on the fence about them using a $50 step increment. My belief is that the PS5 Pro comes digital only. One model, that's it. Just one model.
Without an option for a disc?
It has the receiver for the detachable or attachable disc player. Okay. And I put that on a tweet last week because it's not a leak or anything. It's just, I just think this is probably what they're going to do. You got the PS5 Pro. It's got the same receiving location for the disc drive. So it's a discless PS5 Pro. You have the option to go order the disc for $80 in the US. I think this thing is, my best guess is the PS5 Pro is discless at $650, not $600 or $700. I think what they want to do is they want to charge you a little over $600 and then say, hey, for just a little bit more, you can get the disc drive if you want it, instead of having 2 SKUs. I think 2 SKUs would kind of be...
No. It'll be 1 SKU, but I'm thinking $599 base as it is for the Pro, and I think it's going to be $599 plus whatever, $75 for the external drive,
or just $50 more. Like you could buy it with it bundled. You mean the existing drive, that detachable thing?
I guess
that would make sense. That's a good guess.
I still think it's going to be $599, $699, or somewhere in that region. It's not. You know what? The thing is, people are like, oh, it's a lot. It's not really a lot when people are buying Steam Decks for $800. Like, what are we talking about here? You know what I mean? Yeah, or the ROG Allies. Like, I mean, obviously, it's dependent on the size of the hard drive, but
that's like a PS4 Pro more. That's the Z1 or whatever it's called. That's what was the fastest one I bought this year.
And may I ask how much it cost?
$800 US.
Okay, well, what the hell is everybody crying about? If people are buying handhelds for $800,
I mean, it's got
what are we talking about here?
It's got a screen. I mean, your PS5 doesn't.
It's got a screen.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's why. I think handhelds. My opinion is handhelds costs a little bit extra because you're paying for the screen and you're paying for the battery that powers
I got crazy donut here saying 700 one SKU. That's. I think that might be a little steep, brother.
But he could be right. He could be right. It's kind of crazy for me to say 650, but I think my tweet said, like you said, $600. But I think it'd actually be pretty brilliant because if it's $80 for the, I don't want to talk about this forever, but it's $80 for the attachable disk drive. If it's $80, just say, hey, if you buy it bundled, it comes with the disk drive that attaches, and you're basically getting it for $50. Does that make sense?
Right.
So there's your $600, $700 bundle.
I'm not going to say definitively. I still think I've heard that it's $599, and then it'll be announced as $599 this month. So and then without the drive, and then whatever else, right? So,
and they're just going to drop the state of play a week before. Like, I think we're probably going to hear the announcement next week or the week after that the state of play is coming, and there's going to be no launch game for the PS5 Pro, guys. There's no launch game.
L. Yeah, no, there's no launch game. Well, no, there's not. L, please go away. Just go away. Just go away.
Oh, is he being rude?
Oh, nasty. Dude, we just go away. No one asked you. Nobody cares about you either. Not even your own family. I spoke to your family.
Hold on.
I spoke
Hold on. His mom and or dad is calling me.
No, his mom's here. Sorry. Oh. Hold on, let me ask her. Yes? Okay. All right, cool. No, don't worry, I'll be there shortly. Anyways, back to the show, Colt.
We're so nice on here, and shout out to over 500 people. We had almost 600 here watching the show. That's about all I have to say about the PS5 Pro. Let me move on.
Yeah, I got nothing else to say. And you know what? The other thing, I'm not really going to even speculate as to how the games are going to perform until they actually come out. And I'm not going to speculate because some people are asking me saying, are they going to play better than Xbox? Are Xbox games going to play better in there? I said, don't know. I don't know until it happens.
Yes, of course they would.
Okay, but at the same time, I'm going to wait until they're actually physically out and say, hey, they're better over here, whatever, that's fine. But until they actually physically come out and they give you the full rundown, I'm just going to be like, yeah, whatever, man. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't. I'm buying it. And that's all there's to it. And then I'm going to leave the story at that until it happens. Hopefully I can get one day one. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully this is not a PS
I don't think that'll be
a Nintendo or I don't know, man. I really don't know because you know how it is.
I think they will be hard to find. Yeah, the first. We didn't think the Portal was going to sell out, and it is. So I think the PS5 Pro is going to have a pretty hot first year. Shout out to almost 650 you're watching. Hit the like button. I usually don't ask, but you might as well hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. Let's get into the next real topic, and that is there is a rumor that from an industry sneak peeker that is saying that Transformers is returning in some fashion to Xbox and Activision. Normally this would be like a, hey, they're going to do Transformers Cybertron again, or they're going to do a sequel, or they're going to bring back the game and you can only get it on Xbox, but we know that's out the window. So when I saw this news, that definitely looks like the Transformers War for Cybertron or Fall for Cybertron, the second one, is going to come to the consoles via support from Activision and back and pad or a file save as type remaster thing, which would be really great because if you know it, unless you have the second Fall for Cybertron, the second Cybertron Transformers game on disc, you cannot play it on any current console or PC. You have to have the disc on PC, or you have to spend over $100 to get a key. This War for Cybertron's better. They're both really great. Meg, I don't know if you remember, but the I love those games, bro. They were so
great.
Good.
No, they were so much fun. And I first of all, I've always loved Transformers since the '80s, and I followed them through the TV shows, the movies, and then of course the Michael Bay movies. Love them too. It's like a guilty pleasure. They're all fun. I really enjoy them. My son adores the Transformers stuff, and like to get those games back would be absolutely amazing. Now, I did see some people accidentally, I think it was an accident, they falsely posted that Microsoft is publishing two new Transformers games coming out in 2024. I'm like, how is that even possible? Yeah. We would have heard about production 3 years ago if that was the case. And of course, they did not own ABK 3 years ago, right? So I'm like, there's no way this is real. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I understand where the mistake was. The mistake was they're going to re-release the games that they already have in their backlog, which would be a good idea. I think that's something that they need to do. And get them out there and then start working on a new one. Because there's one thing you could say about like an IP like Transformers. They don't really get old, so to speak, because they're multi-generational. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like Transformers are multi-generational. You make a great game or a great TV show or a movie, people will come out and watch it because there's nothing more awesome than giant robots beating the crap out of each other, right? So, you know what I mean? It's I think it'd be a great idea. You release the two, get people's appetites wet, put them in Game Pass, maybe re-release them for PS5 if it's possible, if that's something that they're going to do, and then then work on a new game. And then in a couple of years, 3-4 years, you have a new Transformers game out there, full next gen, you know what I mean? Blow the doors off. Like, let's go, man. I'm down.
Well, apparently Activision and Xbox know that there still is a great need for the Transformers franchise. Like, people are excited about it even right now. So it sounds like they want to bring the old games playable on console, like re-release them, probably $40 a piece or something like that. Lulu Cheng Massive, who used to work with Activision, was one of their community leaders.
It's pronounced Lululemon, but yes, carry on. And they're my favorite pants in the world.
Yeah. Anyway, if you remember her, she was pretty vocal during the FTC trials. She was asked, Masterve, Lulu Cheng Masterve. She was asked directly last year about the Transformers games because someone said, "Oh, the code is lost." She says, "No, who told you that? The code is not lost. We have the code for the Cybertron games for Transformers." So this is pretty cool. So this new leak leads me to believe that they're gonna just do hey, let's port this up and get them on console, sell them again, and maybe see if those do well. Maybe they would bring the license back.
It's something I've said forever, Colt. Yeah. It's a litmus test for the future. You have all this IP now, right, that you own from all these acquisitions. Start re-releasing this stuff and get a litmus test as to how the community is reacting to it, right? If the people are reacting to it, that means that there's a demand for it. Now, if there's a demand in, I hate to say this because people are going to think this, I'm saying this is toxic, but I'm not. The smallest marketplace, which is Xbox, if there's a demand for it there, you start looking at the PlayStation and Nintendo and the PC crowd's going to get it anyway. But you start looking at there and you expand outwards. If there's an interest in even that smaller Xbox community, imagine the potential if you open it up to PlayStation. I won't say which PlayStation because it could be PlayStation 6 before you see a new one, right? Or a next gen Xbox.
Absolutely.
And obviously the new Switch. Well, not new Switch. I'm just going to call it a new Nintendo console because I don't know. We don't even know if it's a Switch, right? So, anyways, the thing is that you've got that as an option. Then you release these out there, see how this community reacts to it, the Xbox community. If that's positive, then you start spreading it outwards and then work on a new game for everybody. And you're going to make money hand over fist, man. But it's got to be good. At the end of the day, just like everything else we talk about on this show or when we do videos or when we guest on other people's shows, if the game ain't good, it doesn't make a goddamn difference what we talk about. The game's got to be good at the end of the day. You have to deliver quality. Yeah. And I remember those Transformers games were excellent fun. I really enjoyed them.
I played all of them except for the Dark Spark, which came out at the beginning of the PS4 Xbox One generation. It was like a 5.7 out of 10. I've still never played it. I'm almost tempted. You have to buy it on disc for it to be back compat. It's not available digitally on back compat, but you can play it. You just can't buy it digitally. The Dark of the Moon was the one that came out along with one of the movies. Like, I enjoyed all those, and I put up a poll: which is better, War for Cybertron, which was the first one in 2011, and then Fall 2009, 10. I don't remember. But they used to crank these games out in like 2 years, and they're freaking awesome. Shout out to Xbox Expansion Pass, Luke, who says just supporting with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I want to let you guys know what we're going to talk about because we need to dive into it because we've already killed an hour talking about Call of Duty. Take it to the limit. I want to talk. I almost glossed over the Phil Spencer thing. I'll just do this right now before I hit a couple supers.
Yeah, of course.
Phil Spencer did the story time thing. We totally got off this topic. Phil Spencer did the story time, and the only thing that came out of that anybody cared about was that he said he skipped Destiny as getting an exclusive for Xbox. I went and listened to this. I thought, I can't be the dumbest guy in the room, but I don't understand how all these journalists took what Phil said the way they did, because the de facto report from Phil Spencer was that he was given the opportunity to have exclusivity deal with Destiny on the Xbox platform, and he passed on it. I listened to the interview, and I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? He said, we had an opportunity to look at Bungie, and we ended up getting ABK, and you know how that turned out. He was 100% talking about how a couple of years ago, they had the opportunity to buy Bungie, but they bought ABK instead because that deal came onto their lap. He said this, and then he talks about how Destiny shaped him and how he got into it and how he didn't like it at first. And all these journalists and all these people that report on social media, that report news, up to the minute, they all claim that Phil was saying that we had the opportunity to bring Destiny 1 as an exclusive, and they passed on it. Because he also says later that he passed on Guitar Hero. He tells that story because she asked later, do you have any regrets? Now, I listened to this whole thing, and I thought, I can't be the only one that understood context. And I will stand here right now, and I could be proven wrong when someone directly asks Phil. But when I watch it, I'm like, how could you not understand? He was talking about, I passed on the opportunity to buy Bungie. The look on his face was, I'm so glad we didn't, because they're in massive turmoil. He already has a lot to deal with ABK, because I think that was a mess of that's a huge mess that's changed Xbox the way it is now, because we were just talking about Transformers. Transformers will be fully on everything. It will never be exclusive to Xbox, because every ABK game from the moment they were going to buy them is now fully multi-plat. I want to end that statement just by saying, I'm going to stand on this idea that Phil was talking about buying Bungie as a company, not buying exclusivity for Destiny. And I cannot believe everybody ran with that as a news report yesterday. I wonder if I'm wrong. Mag, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I've never been a fan of Bungie. I think that they're a bunch of the management specifically, and the people who run it are a bunch of crybabies. They've been bitching since day one. We want to be solo. We want to be independent. We want somebody to buy us. Then as soon as somebody buys us, as soon as somebody buys them, we want to be independent. Wham, wham. Then they go independent. We don't have any money. Someone buy us. And then someone buys them. We want to be independent. I'm like, you guys need to be kicked to the curb and dissolved. Take the best people of that company and form another studio that with quality, with better leadership. And that's all there is to it. I can't stand them. I can't stand hearing about them. I avoid as much news as possible about them because they just make me sick to my stomach. I can't stand Bungie, and I can't stand all their whining and bitching they've been doing over the years, and their mediocre product as of late. In my opinion, and I just don't like them. So I think Phil passing on them was the best thing he could have done. ABK is a whole different beast.
Do you think that he was passing? Do you think he was passing on exclusivity for Destiny, or do you think he was talking about? I don't know. Maybe you're only hearing it from me. I don't want to taint the waters.
They already owned them. Didn't they already have them at one point?
You know, I never thought about that. The timeline, Destiny came out in 2015. Bungie left Xbox what year?
I can't remember.
Before I do that, shout out to Detective Seeds, who dropped how many of these? 20 channel memberships. Thank you so much. Also shout out to Master gifting 10 memberships. Detective Seeds, he's awesome. Gaz and I always call him a pony, but he's just a gaming fan who covers news. Detective Seeds, you're a cool guy. You reached out to me. You and I talked to Party Chat a bunch. If Red Wolf's still in the chat, I asked if he was there. I need you to get you to talk to Red because I was talking to him today, Mag, about Detective Seeds, a guy who built a YouTube channel just a couple years ago, started reviewing a bunch of games and worked his way up into getting day one game codes. And I used you as an example, Detective. I was like, you need to do what he's doing because he's done a phenomenal job of working his way in. So you guys need to talk. I'll put you in contact with Red. He wants to get into that. But the community of people that make content that we are surrounded by is so phenomenal. And the way we help each other. Shout out to Detective Seeds. Go check out his channel. He has, I don't know, like 50 reviews on his channel. I was looking at today, 16,000 plus subscribers because he's grinding, playing games, talking about what he loves and what he doesn't. And shout out to him for his support. I don't know. I just took that back to the topic. I took that as Phil was talking about buying Bungie, not talking about having exclusivity with Destiny. I just didn't see it that way.
That's a great idea to stay away from them. They've already had a history with them. And when they had a history with them, what did they want? They wanted out. They wanted out anyway. So why would it be any different now? All of a sudden, let's just say, for argument's sake, that Microsoft did re-envelop them into the fold. These guys are being passed around like a $5 hooker between Sony, Microsoft, Activision, and then you know what I mean? Like they're just being passed around to everybody. Like it's like, what are you guys doing, man? It's a way. Just forget it.
Everybody else was the fault problem too. Sorry.
Yeah, and then you look at the management and all their issues. The games they're not doing. I don't know. I heard Marathon might be an issue, maybe an issue, not really 100%. I'm not going to speculate on that, but just reading what I'm reading, right? But anyways, I don't care about them, and I'm glad that they didn't do anything about it. Leave them be. Just leave them. They got, like I said, they got.
I think they're a mess right
already.
now.
Oh, leave them be. Phil's got his own problems right now. He's got to get Bethesda. He's got to get Bethesda and ABK under control. And what I mean by that, obviously, Activision's about to release what's going to be a blockbuster Call of Duty game. But, they've been having an issue with critical reception with the games over the last couple of years. And they need to rope that in, and they need to start releasing solid, high-rating games that the fans also want to play as well and engage in, and that's the biggest thing. On top of that, he's going to have to deal with the massive overhead of running a company like ABK, Bethesda, and Xbox Game Studios simultaneously. He's not running them, but he has to oversee all that. There's massive overhead with that. You're going to have to make sure that there's profit on top of it, which King and Activision pretty much can take care of on their own. But it has to be, you know what I mean? Like he's got his mouth full already. Why try to shove more food in there? So it's a good thing that that it is the way it is. Focus on what you got. I know some people are out there going, it's acquisition season, and I'm like, just stop.
It was a couple of years ago, and certainly
a couple of years. No. I'm hearing people now talk about it. I'm like, stop. They don't need to acquire anybody else. Get your house.
I agree.
Absolutely in order, and start cranking out bangers. That's it. That's your job now for the next 5 years, 10 years.
Stalker 2 is not their game, but it's something that they bet on and they supported and they helped additionally fund. That game has to be well liked. These games have to be well liked, well reviewed, and well played. Like you can't have a well reviewed,
and no one's
well received game like Hellblade, right? I don't know if the three I just said, I already forgot. But nobody played it.
Nobody was playing it. Hellblade 2 was critically received. That's why I said it had to be critically received by
it played well,
and then played well by the fans.
But not by
where
absolutely.
It looked like 3 days after Hellblade 2 came out, more people were concurrently playing Hellblade 1 on Steam than they were playing Hellblade 2. Like, what are we talking about here? So, you know what I mean? You've got to make sure that you've got those bangers that everybody's talking about, and you got to consistently crank them out. If not, then you're just going to have to just rely on King and Activision to just keep cranking out the Call of Duty and Candy Crush money. Like what else are you gonna do?
If it's a single player game, like Mag and I are saying, it doesn't matter to us how many people play Hellblade, but to Xbox's health and pushing forward with new projects, it absolutely does matter if Indiana Jones is well received, plays well, and is played by a lot of people. That's really important.
a lot of people are downplaying Indiana Jones and saying, it's just, whatever. It's like, 'cause some people are like, oh, I hope it does well. And there's a lot of people out there
Yeah, that's me.
controlling the hell out of it, saying, oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big game. It's not that big of a deal. Actually, it is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal for two reasons. One, because it's a first-party game. And two, you're about to release it, whatever, between 3 and 6 months later on the biggest platform on the market, next to PC, of course. But I'm just saying, like, in the console space. If that game doesn't do well there, no one's going to buy it on PlayStation if the game, if no one's playing, if everybody's like, ugh, the game wasn't great. You're not going to get those sales on PlayStation. So this is very important that they nail this game. But the fact that they're releasing it day one, I think that they have faith in what they've got going on. But it has to do well. It has to do well.
That is such a good point, because if
cool.
Indie doesn't land hot in 3 months or 4 months when it comes to PlayStation, those sales are going to significantly be reduced. The excitement for a game.
Well, Colt, if you're a PlayStation only player, okay, and I'm an Xbox player, and let's just say, for argument's sake, before people get mad, that I say, Indie sucked, man, it was a 5 out of 10, and you're a PlayStation player, 4 months later comes to your console, are you going to buy it? Probably not, because you say, oh man, Mag told me it was a 5 out of 10, and I read reviews and it was awful. I'm not going to buy that. So it's very important that these games hit now.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind. I know I have no basis for this except for the first 2 games, but like Doom, I think is going to be a 9 out of 9.5 out of 10, because Doom is Doom, and the first 2 Dooms were absolutely incredible.
Just like we can sit here and say we know that Astrobot's going to be 9. It's going to be a high 9, or it's going to be a low 9 or a mid 9. Like,
however,
you just know
Astrobot. Yeah, but Astrobot is selling on just PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But like Doom is going to be on Game Pass, selling on Xbox, PC, and selling on PlayStation. So it's very important that the game hits well. Otherwise, those other markets aren't going to buy. They're not going to pick it up. So, but Doom, I think, will do very well. Indiana Jones, we're going to have to wait till it comes out. Because, I mean, I know we've seen, well, I won't say much, but like, just, it is what it is. We'll have to wait till December. And I'm optimistically hopeful, because I'm such a huge indie fan. I love Indiana Jones. I made an indie video. And if on whatever on the socials, and I thought it did okay, but I hurt myself jumping off the balcony. But that's just me. Anyways,
I know I love that one. Let me grab some supers, because they're getting a little bit antsy here. Just to let you guys know, we're going to be talking about. Oh yeah, I got to move this one. We're going to talk about some other games coming to Xbox, some stuff that's missing, and some. Mag has a little bit of an exclusive report about a big game that we're going to talk about in just a moment. Let me see. We've got Connor. I think, did I cover this? Connor Guragid, he said, with the $23.99 for the 24 euro, says, thank you so much, Connor. Why is Xbox not getting games that they announced, especially today, this Last Song game? This is a major topic we're going to get into in just a bit, Connor. I will cover that. It's super frustrating. There's 2 games that are not coming to Xbox when they're out today. They're completely different reasons. Super weird. We'll get into it. Thanks so much, Spartan661, for gifting 5 memberships. I'm sorry. I am, what a day. I love you guys. Thank you so much for doing that, Spartan661. Andy Hart with the £5 super chat. Thank you, Andy. Says, it is time for Xbox to admit there might be an issue with the Series S memory pool. Hearing more developments saying having issues with Series S. Yes, Andy, I'm going to get into that. I think that might be our next topic. Hargeet Chani, my good friend. Shout out to Hargeet Chani. $10 super chat. Also the co-host of Games Talk Live with Fonz. Fonz called me earlier. We were in the middle of something, so I couldn't take the live phone call. Fonz, I love you, bro. Disney, you're the best. Brothers, Outlaws for Life, Red Dead brother. You're the best. Check out Fonz. He's amazing. Hargeet says, Mag, love the enthusiasm for COD, but did you forget that Xbox bought ABK? Even if the game should be an 8 or 9, Xbox committed a human rights violation by taking away PlayStation marketing rights for Call of Duty. 65, he says.
I go 64.
64.
Let's go 64.
Okay. I love Hargeet Chani. Rossi, I got Red Wolf Authority. And then we got Andy Hart says, I meant to say developers in my super chat. Hold on, I might have read that wrong. I read it right. I think I did. Will you both be playing a casting of Frank Stone? Good morning in the UK. We should dress as Frank Stone. Wait, is Frank Stone the... No, I was thinking of the guy from Dead Rising. Who's Frank Stone?
I thought Frank Stone was the guy from Dead Rising. What
I
the
thought
hell
it was
was
like
his name?
Frank Miller or something, but that's
No, I think it might be.
I'm blanking on it.
Well, I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Andy hit us in the chat. Thank you so much. Timothy Struble, great name. Thank you for the $5 super. Says, to me, Sony has been marketing themselves as Apple of console gaming. There have been no price drops this gen from Sony, and I think $700 for the PS5 Pro in the US. I kind of agree with you, but it may be 600, but even 600 is kind of steep. And with Xbox not competing, Timothy, PlayStation can do whatever they want, and they can restrict and they can gouge as much as they need to, and no one can stop them. It's another reason everybody loves Nintendo, but they do not lower their prices. Right now, I bet if you go to a store in the US, if you go online and try to get Mario Kart 8, it's probably still around $50 or $60. At least it was a couple years ago.
Yeah, they're like Honda Civics. They never go down in value. I got some answers for you. Frank West was from Dead Rising.
Yep, there you go.
Stone is that game, that really creepy ass looking game. It's called like what is it called? The Casting of Frank Stone. It's that horror game with that with the guy with the mask, the metal mask on, and all that kind of stuff. Kind of like a almost like a slasher kind of flick game. It looks terrifying.
Oh my gosh! No, I'm not gonna dress up as that. I'll walk by the mirror and scare myself. It's already scare myself when I walk by the mirror.
I love horror games, but they got to be good. They got to be good. So we'll wait and see how that turns out. But they revealed that last year. I remember that because that stuck out to me because I love horror games, but they got to be good, man. Because there's a lot of horror games out there that are absolute ass trash. So what's it called? The Bloober ones have been like
Medium,
like Blair Witch
and stuff,
and Medium, and my God, please don't screw up Silent Hill. Although I keep hearing that Silent Hill is playing better and better, but we'll see what happens. Because Silent Hill was a very close second for me in the '90s with Resident Evil. Right, Resident Evil is still the king, in my opinion, but we'll see.
Love Resident Evil, yeah.
Oh God, I love it so much.
Let me see. I've got RDX Son of Fett. Thank you so much for the Canadian $14 super chat. Says, every time we ship a game on PlayStation, Sony captures 30% of the revenue that we do on their platform. RDX Son of Fett acting like he works at Xbox. I will say this for you. I'll change the wording around. Every time Xbox ships a game on PlayStation, Sony captures 30% of the revenue that they do on the platform, and they use that money, among other revenues, to have to do things to try. What RDX Son of Fett is saying, that PlayStation admitted it in the trials, that they plan to take that 30% they make off of Xbox games and turn that around to fund their first party. And by all rights, they should. But Xbox, as much as some stuff bothers me about the way they try to run their business and they treat the console like not even third place, but last place citizens, they really do. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. They may become one of the biggest gaming platform publishers in the world. They may become way up there.
That's what I said from the beginning.
Yeah, you did.
I said from the beginning, I said their goal is not to continue Xbox the way you think it's going to be. It's to be the biggest third-party publisher on the planet and make billions of dollars and boo-hoo about your tiers. Because the hardcore is like 15%. They said, listen, that's an acceptable sacrifice for billions of dollars. There's no feelings in this game, kids. No feelings. They don't care about your feelings. They're going to release great product. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They're going to continue running Xbox. They're not getting rid of it. It's still going to be there. But I'm saying if you're expecting it to be the way it was, it's never going to happen. The minute they said they were buying ABK, I said it from the beginning. I said, Xbox is done the way you think it is. It's going to be a different thing from now on.
Yeah. I didn't see it at first. I didn't see it at first, Mag. But by
the way,
yeah,
Gunny's losing his mind in the chat.
Gunny, you're coming up right here. I got to add to what I know. I saw it. Gunny, sorry, it's like a really busy show today. I got to say, you kind of had two choices. Did you want less studios but full exclusivity, or do you want all of these games available to your preferred platform and even in Game Pass? Like,
you're not losing anything, Colt.
Except
like if you continue with Xbox, you're not losing anything.
I don't want to go back.
You're getting all the stuff that everybody else is getting, but you're getting it on if you decide to subscribe to the service, you're getting it on the service. So you're not losing anything.
Or it's not fully multiplat. Like there's some games that are going to be on Xbox for a while, or there might be some that never come to PlayStation. But really, I don't want to go back to the Xbox. It should be this way for you guys on the camera. I don't want to go back to the days when it was Sea of Thieves, State of K2, Super Lucky's Tale.
Yeah,
I'm being that way on purpose, right? And there's great things like Forza Horizon and everything, but I don't want to go back to that Xbox. I actually want to go forward to this Xbox where there's Doom, Dark Ages, there's Indiana Jones, there's Blade.
Yeah. And let everybody play them. Just give me good games. I don't care who's playing them. Give me awesome games. And come on, man.
Yeah, and if you're really worried about other people playing your games, like in 2016 when they said we're putting everything on PC, I was like, awesome. My game share buddy and I are we game share on PC and Xbox. I'm like, we're just gonna like pick and choose where we play the games. Like at one point it was one goes on Xbox and one game goes on PC, and like he can have the Xbox one, I'll have the PC one. I'll take the PC one on this one, or vice versa. But now it's just like, anyway, we've talked about it enough. Gunny 672, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says Xbox more than meets the eye. Watch Xbox FRM into a third-party publisher before your eyes. Xbox. He says Xbox. Oh, it's so there twice. Sorry. Xbox XFRM.
Former maybe.
Watch Xbox Form maybe.
Oh,
watch
maybe
Xbox.
Form.
It's a typo.
Like or maybe like
X-Form into a third party publisher.
There we go. More than meets that. Okay, I get it now. Yeah.
He's basically supporting what we were saying. Appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Gunny says, read my last super.
Yeah, I was going to say, send another super chat saying, read my last super. Yeah.
I'll get these last two and then we'll get back to the Red Wolf Renegade. This is from Noise FOMO with the Canadian 5 says, Red Wolf Renegade Wednesdays, join the fun. Mag's not invited, or at least he doesn't show. Take it to the limit. You guys all rule.
Yeah. Well, come on, man. All right, I'll be. Wait. Where? What time and when?
He does the show 2 hours earlier tomorrow night than us.
No, tomorrow night. It's not too. I'm so confused because it's a long weekend. I keep thinking today is. I'm all thrown off.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, so it would start 6 p.m. your time if you ever want to join in. Fat Folder 93. That's a great name. I don't get the reference, but I love it. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Says Mag and Colt, you guys are great. Right next to Rand.
No, that's false. That's false. I'm upset too.
That literally was an insult. That's what it was.
Yeah, no. Rand doesn't put any effort into anything. He just shows up, and that's it. He just kind of breathes heavy.
He's like, "Is there a podcast going on here?"
He thinks about really crappy pizza because because Chicago. Yeah, that's not pizza. It's a loaf of bread with sauce on it.
It's like lasagna. Yeah,
it's awful. And he just thinks about crappy pizza, and then he just falls asleep for 45 minutes or so, and then Jez talks because he's usually wasted. Because I mean, how could you do a 3-hour show with Rand sober? I would have to be drunk the entire time. Yeah, just to get through it. So I don't blame Jez at all for being intoxicated when he has to do the show.
Hold on, Jez. I just want to apologize. Jez, I just want to apologize for Mag.
No, because Jez is awake right now. It's 3:00 in the morning over there. He's sitting there nodding his head, going, "Yeah, Mag's right. Mag is right. He's 100% correct. That is why I'm intoxicated. I have to put up with Rand for 3 hours.
Oh my god,
unbelievable. I don't blame you, Jez. I don't blame you at all. Anyways, carry on, Colt.
But we got a chat here from Tricks for Trey. He says, with all these games coming, and I think he means in 2024. There's like 4 more coming. Why didn't Xbox show them off at PAX? There was no Age of Mythology. There was no Aura History Untold. There was no Indiana Jones. There was only Stalker 2 at PAX.
Imagine in your own backyard.
I don't get it.
Imagine in your own backyard. You're in Seattle, and you're in your own state where your headquarters is. You've got all the stuff right there, and you couldn't like put it on like like one of those like wheelies like from the 80s when you went when the teacher went to you to watch a movie.
No, the gamer what is it? The gamers charity like hospital kiosk, just wheel those.
Yeah, like Xbox. They even have like these old like 1989 CRT TVs, and they just wheel out the Xbox and go here, play our games.
I don't get it, Mag. We stayed in Redmond. We stayed in Redmond, which is right by the Xbox offices, and it is a 22-minute drive across Lake Washington over to Seattle. Like, I don't understand why they didn't.
You're right there.
Okay. I work in communications and public outreach for my real job. Okay. YouTube isn't my full-time job. And it perplexes me to see Xbox make decisions that would never fly where I work. If and we go to the fairs. We like have expo booths at the fair to showcase the stuff that we're working on at my work every year. And okay, I don't know how many people are at PAX, like 5,000, 6,000. I don't know what it is. Okay. There is zero reason for Xbox marketing team to go, all right, we need to make an appearance at PAX. Like we're here. Like Xbox needs a presence. What are we doing? What can we bring there? And that somebody in the conference room goes, I mean, Stalkers, GC Game World. They're bringing their Stalker thing, so we're good. Like, why is that okay?
Is there another show between now and like the Game Awards, like a conference or anything? I don't think
Tokyo Game Show, I think, is still coming up.
Right, the Tokyo.
Oh my
Game
gosh,
Show,
Understanding goes, too much fake outrage. Stop complaining about Xbox all the time. Okay, Understanding, I love you, but just close the browser. Close the browser. And, like, seriously, Xbox needs to know. Okay, hold on. I was reminded before the show to be nice. Understanding, I'm sorry. Like, this stuff needs to be said. When Xbox PR reaches out to me and says, Colt, we want to get your thoughts on what we need to be doing this year, what you think we should do, what would be cool. And one of the things they asked me is like, what do you think about us having an in-US presence for Gamescom? Like having a co-located thing for Gamescom in LA just after the big thing in Germany. And I said, that would be really cool. And he's like, would you want to go to that? I said, yeah, that would be really neat. Because they said, we do such a big thing in Germany. It's always been like sad that we don't do anything for our North American audience or our Western Hemisphere audience. And I said, yeah, that would be really great. And they ended up doing that. Now, he probably asked other creators as well, and they all said, yes, you should do that. So when I sit here and say, why aren't you being a presence at PAX? I'm hoping they're listening, because next year they need to, like, why wouldn't, I don't know. I don't want to, I'll just go off.
RDX Son of Fat, you better be kidding.
What?
You better be kidding.
We love you guys.
He said
so
Rand
much.
is great. He said Rand is great. Mag is awesome.
Come on. I love Rand to death, but you know,
you better be
we
kidding.
work a little harder than he does. He doesn't have to work hard because he's popular. We love Rand.
Not popular. He's okay.
Mag!
What?
Okay. Yeah, he's okay. You're right. The funny, sometimes the show, like Meg and I show up right before we're ready to go live, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? You ready to go? Yeah, and we just hit the button. So this is all like how it goes down sometimes. Where was I? Oh, I gotta get to this. So there was a news report that Square Enix is really disappointed with their performance on PlayStation, and they said we're committed to bring more games to Xbox. Now the PC version of Final Fantasy 16 is supposed to be in the works. They want to put that on Xbox. Final Fantasy 14's on there. And Jez Corden thinks that it's real, that Final Fantasy 7 is not just going to be a full exclusive, the remaster, to PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm not like going to sit here and bite my fingernails over when that game comes.
Jez is not wrong.
Love it, but,
turns out I heard the same thing that I was shocked to hear it. But turns out I heard the same thing that Jez heard. Well, maybe not exactly what he heard, but I heard that Final Fantasy 7 Remake is going to hit Xbox before the trilogy is finished.
Final Fantasy, which one?
Final Fantasy 7 Remake is going to hit Xbox before the trilogy's finished.
I don't believe that. I can't.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying.
Do you think they would wait till it was wrapped before it came to Xbox, or do you think
that's what I figured? I figured the entire trilogy first, and then they were going to start porting it over. But if they're not particularly happy, like if they're saying that they're not happy with performance, then I could absolutely see them just doing it sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I used to hear that Final Fantasy 7 was going to come staggered as the games come out, but that didn't end up being the case because now the second one is out. It's probably going to get the Game of the Year nod.
Doesn't it have some legs? I mean, if Jez is hearing that, and like he makes mention of it around the same time that I heard about it, I'm sure other people heard about it. I'm not saying it's fact, but I mean, you know, maybe there's something to that.
You're so spot on, because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth scored really well. It'll probably get the Game of the Year win, if not one of the top nods, but it did not sell very well. I think it only sold 2 million copies or 1.5 million in the first few months.
Is Final Fantasy just not popular anymore, or is it just
I
Like,
think
what is it?
what happened was
Like,
the first
how
one
did
came out.
16 do? How did 16 do?
Not well. Like a million or a couple million copies or
Maybe
something.
the IP is just too old. Like maybe just people, it's for an older
Uh,
generation. They're just not interested anymore.
it's
I don't
just the
know. I'm just
divergence of what they've done. Like, not a lot of people were excited about the way they do combat or how they don't keep things classic. And I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy, but there's some things I really respect about it that's super cool. But Final Fantasy 7 in 2019 was really hot. And then the second one, people are like it's kind of, dropped off a little bit, is what I was told. Like people really like it, but they didn't jump on it as hotly as they did the first one. And so you're absolutely right when you say when they're looking at the numbers and they spent a bunch of money making the second version of the game, maybe they do need to get it faster.
Open it up to everybody else, just the same way that Xbox is doing it to play for PlayStation by trying to maximize their profits on games that are not getting as much engagement as they want. Put them on PlayStation and Nintendo. If PlayStation or not PlayStation, but Square Enix has the same thing that had an exclusivity deal with PlayStation for Final Fantasy, and it's not performing up to what they want, then open up the market. It's the same thing. Like, what the hell's the difference?
Yeah, the problem is the Xbox games are not, or Xbox is not popular for Final Fantasy. So there's metrics that show that Final Fantasy games are really low, like 10% across compared to PlayStation. So
I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, though. At the end of the day,
yeah.
I mean, if you don't open up to them, like, let's say you sold 500,000 copies. I mean, that's 500,000 copies you weren't going to get before.
I mean, the porting process, it's certainly worth it, Mag. Like, the porting process is going to cost them a certain amount, and they know they'll sell like 500,000 copies on Xbox or something, and then it'll more than make up. And
I think that would be fine. Like, I mean, like I said, it's better than nothing.
The point is that Square Enix has made deals with the devil with PlayStation, and Foam Stars is already free to play on PlayStation. It's only available there, and I think PC, if I remember right. People were flocking to that at PAX last year and then just kind of died. But really what the point is they have to make more money. The PlayStation is not enough. And Hiroki Totoki and Jim Ryan said the same thing in their business meetings. They said the PlayStation console consumers are not enough. They're saying the same thing Xbox is. Xbox is just down further than PlayStation is. And I thought it was weird that there was Mike Ibarra said that a lot of people who are up, I think he was saying, he's alluding to Xbox fans saying, oh, Xbox consoles are niche and consoles are going to die. He says consoles are never going away. I'm not sure if Mike Ibarra is right. I think in 15 years, consoles will be they may become so niche. They're already niche in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. I think in 15 years, you can't say consoles are going to be around like they are now. And my prediction is, who cares? My prediction is they may not be. Let me move forward. Final Fantasy is definitely coming to Xbox. And I think moving forward, especially with the new leadership at Square, their games are just going to come to Xbox. They're no longer going to sit there and say, oh, PlayStation's our darling, because it's bit them in the butt every time. So that's my take on it. Red Wolf, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says, Silent Hill 2 interest? I'm a massive fan. It changed horror games for me. I'll be playing day one on PC, but do you guys think it's a timed exclusive?
I don't know.
Are you a Silent Hill fan?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I really like Silent Hill games. I played all of them. I even played some of the later ones in the early aughts, like Silent Hill 4: The Room, which was a great game, and I can't remember the names of the other ones. But I played them all, and I really enjoyed them. Okay. I mean, going back to them, they're really clunky and whatever, and they play worse than Resident Evil because Capcom is just a better developer, in my opinion, than Konami is. But they are what they are, and they're great games. But I really am looking forward to the new one. I hope they nail it. I really hope they nail it. So we shall see. I'm there with my fingers crossed, because that's I mean, it comes out in October, if I'm not mistaken. That's right in the middle of Halloween. I think it's a great time for me to buy a new game. And by the way, I'm changing my philosophy. I forgot to tell you this last week.
Okay.
You know how my philosophy of I finish my backlog before I buy new stuff.
Yep.
I'm going to, it's not a FOMO thing. It really isn't. But I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to play one backlog and one new one. And and one new one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate. So I'm going to be buying Astrobot next week, day one.
You should.
And at the same time, I'm going to be playing Avatar, the one from last year. And then I'm going to, God willing, if the scores are great, I'm going to be playing Silent Hill 2. And then I'm going to be going back and I'm going to play Final Fantasy 16 and obviously Call of Duty's day one. And I'm going to go back and forth. So I'm always in the mix. So I'll be playing
that way you won't be in backlog world forever, right?
No. I will just kind of plug away like that and just, have a bit of the newness and have a bit of the oldness all like sort of mixed into one. And so I'm just gonna enjoy myself and have fun and just play games, man. I'm excited and happy to do all that. But anyways,
Could have a bit of the old,
I'm
some of the new.
waiting. Yeah,
You gotta have some of the old, some of the new.
Yeah.
I'm going to predict
Silent Hill 2 were listen, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's not shown well.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
And I don't trust Bloober, to be quite honest.
I don't either. I have this feeling it might be a little bit better than people expected. I think people are expecting like a 5 or 6. I think they might actually kind of deliver on this game a little bit. So I'm going to predict it comes in at a 7 and kind of surprises people. And then they're like, hey, it's not that bad.
If it's 7, I'm not buying a 7 out of 10. I'm not buying a 7 out of 10. The games are $100. You got to impress me for $100 now. So I'm not buying a 7 out of 10 at full price.
Bro.
I'll buy a 7 out of 10 down the road for $40, right? On a sale, Black Friday, Boxing Day in Canada, after Christmas, whatever, spring sale.
7.
What is?
Dead Island 2 is a 7.
Was it really?
Yeah, it's so awesome.
But I like zombies, so I don't give a crap. Yeah, zombies are.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, I was about to say the bad words. But no. We care about that. No. Dead Island's Dead Island. Come on,
it's good stuff.
That's the exception to the rule.
Oh,
that's the exception to the rule at zombie games.
Okay.
Days Gone was like a 69 or whatever, 60, and I love that game.
Days Gone was good.
But I also bought it for $20. So
I bought it for 60 and I still liked it.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Why are we
Back to the show?
What?
I don't know, but back to the show.
Wait, I need to be this way because you're in this here. No
hey,
wonder
Paul
I couldn't hear
L,
you.
Are you still in the chat? Can you hear us? Sorry, just checking. Paul L. Take the Paul L. Take the L, Paul. Carry on, Cole.
We're literally middle-aged dudes and we're whispering. Our audience can't hear us because we're all deaf. RDX Son of Fett, thank you for the Canadian $2.79. Says, no point to console then. Sales will plummet. If the console's yes. Gunny672, thank you for the 5. Says, I am Menace Holio. Love you guys. Thanks for the endless hours of Xbox entertainment. I thought about
that's clever, my friend. Thank you.
Thought about calling this podcast the Xbox. No, I'm just kidding. But I hope you guys like I kind of retooled some of the stuff. I got the Colteastwood blue in here. I was gonna put red in, but then red and green is, well, I'm a graphics person. It's horrible color combination. Red and green. Gross. James, thank you so much for the 5. Says, thoughts on Enotra devs' reason for delay. Not the first time I've heard the lack of communication from Xbox. I got to cover that in just a moment, but let me throw in this mix that I believe we don't need to talk about. Actually, let's not talk about this for more than a minute, but I once thought that Fable was coming out in 2024, and then they say it's coming out in 2025. I'm feeling like Fable needs more time. They brought in a new studio to help. No, they're not porting it to PlayStation. We already know from insiders. Hey, let's address that right now. We already know from insiders that Fable does not have a PlayStation 5 port in the works and probably not in the plans. I have never once on the show, on Twitter, or on my YouTube channel ever claimed to be an insider. And I never would want to have the claim of being an insider, because with an insider comes culpability and accountability and lawyer ability. So no, I am not an insider, but I will tell you that if you think that I don't know what's going on, it's a lot of stuff I get right because people know what they're talking about when they talk to me. Now, I've only heard secondhand information from stuff. The whole thing about Xbox games coming to PlayStation came from the same type of people I talk to that have the opportunity to talk to other people. Now, what Mag and I have done on this show, because he's got something he wants to drop here in just a moment, what I've done on the show is tried to leave that mostly up for speculation or prediction and maybe hearsay. So no, I do not believe I'm an insider. Yes, I've talked to plenty of people in the past that have told me stuff behind the scenes, and a lot of stuff's come to bite me as it gets changed or when stuff is just outright not going to happen the way it does. So yeah, Mag and I are not insiders, but we do hear things, and we will give you the best, railroad track ahead of you, right?
I'm not an insider, and I'm not looking for clout.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, it's not like I get called all these names, clout chasing, fake insider. This, I'm neither of those things. I don't need your clout. I don't need any of that stuff. So I'm like, what are you talking about? But we are privy to information that gets passed along to us, some from high powerful people, some not so powerful people, employees, developers, regional project managers on certain teams and certain studios, whatever else. We talk to all these people. Yep. Whatever, it is what it is. And sometimes they say, hey, pass this along. And sometimes we pass it along. Like, I got something last night that was sent to me, and I'm like, well, it wasn't much of a surprise to me, but it was interesting to get, confirmation on it. And apparently that was from inside the Xbox camp. So that was interesting that it had nothing to do with them, but they found out about it, right? So that was interesting.
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a moment. But yeah, I think I would not be surprised if Fable gets delayed, and I think it's the rock and the hard place. Yeah, like they just need more time. Like they're telling people 2025, and anybody who is privy to where Xbox is sitting with their development would probably say, hey, when's Fable coming out? And they say, oh, probably holiday, like November 2025. I wouldn't
do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't release it. I'd wait till 2026. I'll tell you why. It's not coming out the first half of 2025. I can guarantee that.
I agree.
100% not happening. So if they say 2025, where do you put it then? You're not going to put it in the summer when no one's around. Everybody's off farting around doing summer stuff. September, presumably you've got GTA 6.
September?
GTA 6, I say.
Oh, yeah. 5 was in September, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I would presume that it'll be September, because also GTA 6 is going to do their own thing, but I say September of 2025 they're going to launch. October, you're going to have a new Call of Duty. Where are you going to drop Fable? In the middle of November and December when everybody's playing those other games? I wouldn't. I'd drop it in February of 2026.
Take-Two sounds very, very confident that they don't need an additional delay. And, of course, Rockstar Games usually get a 6-month delay in the last bit of the development process. But a lot of people would say, oh, if they're going to be at the end of 2025, maybe they get pushed to spring. But I don't know. They kind of doubled down on that they've had enough time to say they're good for the end of 2025.
Fly Guy, he's saying in the chat here, saying can't be delayed if the release hasn't been announced. He's not wrong. What we're talking about, Fly Guy, is we're not talking about a release date specifically. We're talking about a release year. So that, I think that I don't think they're going to make the 2025 cut unless they launch in December like they did with Indie Jones. And I wouldn't release a game like Fable in there. And that's a big game. I would give it its own space. I would put it in February.
I think
unless Resident Evil 9 is coming out in February.
I think Fable is probably Xbox's biggest juggernaut.
Yes.
It's unfair to put that kind of pressure on it, but it's their best studio. It's their most proven studio. It's a well-loved franchise. It looks incredible from what we've seen. I think it is not small beans for Xbox to release Fable. It's going to be a big deal, and it's their big litmus test and proving ground that they can do AAA. It really is, because some of the other stuff is like pre-existing Activision and Bethesda studios. Like they do their thing, and now they're doing it for Xbox, right?
That's going to be that Lord. That's going to be that Lord Cognito hashtag just one.
Absolutely, I would agree.
That still hasn't happened yet, but I mean, it's like that hashtag just one. The big, huge banger, I think, is
the
going
immersive third-person action adventure, semi-open world. Absolutely, and I also say
Fable could be the one.
Yeah, I agree. I also think Fable 2026 is what I'm thinking.
That's what I think so too.
And which really sucks, because Xbox is now in the position where they said, here's our game. We're making Fable in 2020, and 2025 is going to roll around, and they're going to do a full, they're going to do an actual playthrough. This is my prediction at the showcase next summer. They're going to show Fable running in real time moving forward in the world instead of quick cuts. So you'll get like a 2 or 3 minute trailer of Fable, and then it's going to say at the end, 2026, and everyone's going to go, Fable! And I just think that's what's going to happen. But
well, you know what? Someone else pointed out in the chat too. Avowed got pushed to Q1 2025. So now you've squeezed the window even smaller.
So you're not going to put out Fable at the beginning of that year. Well, you could.
Well, I don't think the game is ready, to be quite honest. Well, I have no basis for that, but I just think that
I agree.
I think that their plan was to launch it later in 2025, but now that 2025 is already shaping up, you've got Avowed now pushed to Q1. You probably won't make Q2. Q3 is Grand Theft Auto. Q4 is Call of Duty, and God knows what else. Right? I don't know, man. I mean, the only thing I could think of is if Resident Evil launches in 2025, fine. Then I think that you're open in the first quarter of 2026 to release without anything in your way. If Resident Evil 9 launches first quarter 2026, as they usually launch in the first quarter,
they do.
If it's not 2025, I would probably avoid Resident Evil. I know the different genres, but I mean, it's the same crowd. So I would probably avoid it. I would go Q2 2026 if Resident Evil comes out that year, 2026.
I think they can release in a month's time around Resident Evil, but you and I don't think.
I think it needs.
I think it needs to be a holiday release for Fable. And I think
so. All right,
because
you want to avoid GTA 6 at all costs. I don't give a shit. I don't give a crap what anybody says about anything. GTA 6 is the one game nobody stands in its way. Nobody.
Yeah, right. I know. And it would be a massive disservice to your biggest game to launch next to that absolute ground zero megaton. To quote our good friend Crap Gamer, it'll be a megaton moment.
Megaton. Yeah, no, that's one you stay away from. And the thing is, these companies literally have protocols built around the release date of GTA.
Yep.
I remember that from GTA 5.
I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, I think I think it's got to be a holiday game. And so shout out to one of my best friends said, you always complain about a game being delayed, and then you complain about a game being, unfinished or not polished. And my complaint was sometimes Xbox does both. They delay a game, it's supposed to be out this year, it comes out a whole year later, and then it's unfinished still. And I feel unfortunately, I have to say that I feel like there's a lot of Xbox games that come out undercooked, and Avowed being one that's going to launch with the delay, and it still doesn't have 60 frames. If that ends up being the case, I mean, you could predict and say, hey, if they're saying this, unless someone's speaking out of turn, they're probably expecting Avowed to be only 30 on console and get that patch 3 to 6 months later. And that's a major L, because why are you delaying the game? If it's not, the game should wait till it's at its full, it's at its best, it's shiny, it's just fluid. And then you have your best chance for success when you bring out a game and it feels unfinished, or some things are missing that you'd expected there. It can hamper the sales or the Metacritic and the review scores and the zeitgeist of everything. I mean, I just don't know how else to say it. So the Sosa says, when's Perfect Dark? Maybe 2025. Did they say?
No, there's not. You know what?
Is there no roadmap on that one? Xbox roadmap.
No, there was no year on Perfect Dark.
Thankfully, you remember that.
I'm almost 100%. I'm almost 100% certain there was no release year, because that was my biggest complaint about the showcase, was that half the games didn't even have a year.
Yeah, I know.
So I know that State of Decay 3 had no year. I'm pretty sure Perfect Dark had no year.
I'm looking at it right now. You've got a better memory than me. Perfect Dark is not even on this graphic. Yeah, it's under more. It would be included in what would be and more.
Yeah, so I don't think it had even a year. And that, like I said, that was my only. I thought the showcase was excellent. It was a great showcase, as most people agreed. But my only complaint was half the games didn't even have a release year. Yeah, so that was my issue. So I'm like, okay, well, that was my only issue. But everything else was great. It showed great.
I do get frustrated about that, and then I realize Xbox is their release numbers are no good until you're like 6 months out.
Fair.
It's true. And I don't say that as an excuse. It's their, I don't know what the word would be. It's the end to justify the means. Their games just aren't ready a lot of the times, and they just need to wait. Really, we don't know until you're like 4 or 5 months in from a release. Like, we barely got the Indiana Jones release date. Holy smokes. It's just Xbox demo. They know better. They know that their stuff's way too fluid. Super chats. Let's see. Marcus Ray, thank you for the 5, says, why keep doing consoles in it? If they're going to keep doing this, they're screwing the console gamer. Console and PC hybrid has to be coming from Xbox. Marcus Ray, absolutely. I will tell you with the best confidence that I can muster from where I sit right here, the next console from Xbox will be a PC console hybrid. It's going to be incredibly cool. It's going to be AI powered. That'll just make up all the extra stuff that the already new hardware and tech and architecture in 2027, which I think is going to be 2027, not 2026, because Xbox likes to delay. Yes, I would say with my most confidence that it is a hybrid. And if this thing has Epic Game Store, Steam, GOG, Ubisoft Connect, Rockstar Launcher, and all that stuff, you'll be able to play any games that you bought that are currently available on PC to play on your console. And I would say this one more thing. Xbox needs to kick everything they're screwing up to the curb, which is coming up in our next segment after Mag talks about his exclusive, because I don't want to keep him here very much longer than I have to.
Good.
It's crazy because school's starting tomorrow for both our kids.
My goodness.
My point being, Xbox needs to ditch their mother freaking problem. Hold on, I got to take this call from Fonz. Their problem where they're, hang on, Fonz, I got you right here. Hold on. Their problem where their games have to be specifically ported for the Series S. It's bullshit. If a game is Steam Deck verified, but it doesn't run on Series S, we're going to get into that in just a moment after we talk about Mag's thing. I got to hear from Fonz. Fonz, what you're now live on the air. What do you think about Xbox ditching their ported console versions and just giving Xbox players the PC version, which lets you change all performance to match what you want? Say hi.
Oh, personally, I would love it. Personally, Red Dead 2 was going to be remastered on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles, and it was coming out next year.
Okay, hang on one second. The stream dropped for just a second, but just in case part of your sentence didn't make it through, you said that you heard that there's going to be a Red Dead 2 port version for current. Okay.
Coming out in 2025, which tells me if that does happen, most likely Rockstar is going to push GTA 6 into 2026, because they wouldn't normally put out two big games like that in the same year. So unfortunately, I feel like they're going to put out a Red Dead 2 remaster and push
in 25
GTA. Yeah, it's
okay.
The rumor is it's coming in March of 2025.
Oh, geez.
The Red Dead 2 remaster.
I mean, Red Dead 2 is 6 years old. They could certainly make a crap ton of sales off the Red Dead remaster and then turn around in the second quarter of the year or the second half of the year and make a crap ton of money on Grand Theft Auto. I don't think it's right.
For sure, but you know, and also you have to take it with a grain of salt. A lot of these guys that leak stuff sometimes. There's a actual trailer out for the Red Dead 2 remaster, and it's like recorded, kind of sketchy. You know, somebody's recording a screen rather than recording the trailer from like a source. So
there's also the rumor about the Red Dead 1 remaster and PC port finally. So like maybe they bundle a Red Dead Redemption like Ultimate Edition.
I gotta say, Jedi Warrior in the chat is wrong. Red Dead 2 does need a remaster on the PlayStation and the Xbox Series X and the S, especially for that 60 frames.
I mean, I'm playing the ROG Ally at 1080p, 60 frames, and it looks incredible.
60 frames on the console. You know how many people have asked me for a remaster? When's the remaster coming?
Yeah.
You know, because we talk about Red Dead so much, they want a remaster. They want that 60 frames on console.
I'm with Tug or not. I think what you guys are not like coming together on is that the Red Dead remaster would basically be the greatness we got last generation, but at 60 frames. And at that, you know, the PS4 Pro had 1440p, Xbox One X had full 4K, but you'd get like that high resolution at 60 frames, which would easily work on the consoles now.
Yeah, no, true. But I don't know, man. With this news now, to me anyway, this rumor, it kind of, you know, I hope that it doesn't cause Grand Theft Auto to be pushed into 2026. But no, I'm with you. If people didn't hear my answer on the console ports, make them the PC ports that we can actually change shadows, anything we want to get to the frame rates we want.
Yep.
Especially for those of us that would prefer higher frame rates over 4K. I don't need 4K. Even with my 4090, with WuKong, I even dropped it down to 1440p to get well into the hundreds. You know, I don't need the 4K. I don't need it.
Okay. Thanks, Fonz. I'm gonna let you go. We'll get on the last one. Bro, you're the best. Save. Meg, that's what he does when we're on the phone. I'm like, well, I gotta get going. He's like, okay,
He just hangs,
doesn't even say goodbye.
hangs up. Hey man, it's like the movies.
Yeah, exactly like the movies. All right, what did you hear the other night? What was your
Oh, that was interesting. And like I said, it's not massive news because I think everybody was expecting it, but it's more confirmation. You're going to hear about it during the second trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 that Sony has locked down marketing rights for GTA 6 for the PS5 and the PS5 Pro only.
Oh my gosh.
So it's been locked down. It's not out in the wild. But
what would that mean for Xbox consumers or fans?
Well, they're still getting it, but they're just not going to get the marketing exposure. That's all it is. However, there's other stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about. I was told not to mention.
Okay. I wonder if there'll be like some type of like bedazzled jeans or anything that's exclusive to PS5 or something.
Not sure, but the person who the person I spoke to said that this is from, and the funny thing is this is from Redmond. This is not from a Sony guy. I don't know any Sony guys. I know one Sony guy, but even then, Sony's pretty tight-lipped. But this is from Redmond because they caught the news, so that it was officially done, and then it'll be officially official, I guess, if you want to call it that, when the second trailer drops. And my presumption is, because I don't know this as a fact, but my presumption is that the second trailer will drop at the Game Awards in December, and then you're going to see the PlayStation logo with it. As for the other stuff, when I'm allowed to say it, then he'll say, go ahead and say it. But I think if I say the other thing, it's going to out him. Because that second bit of information, there's only a few privileged people that know that. And then all of a sudden, if that gets back to them, they're going to go, oh, well, it's one of the two of you. Right? So I'm not allowed to say that as of yet.
Okay.
So anyways, it's like I said, it's not a big deal. And it's not like a massive thing. It's just, I mean, it's something that we expected. I mean, like Sony's had the marketing rights for Grand Theft Auto since Vice City.
Okay, yeah, so, they had it with 5 and
they've had it for all of them.
I don't remember feeling or hearing people act like Grand Theft Auto was exclusive like they did with Destiny and Star Wars Battlefront 2 or Star Wars Battlefront 1 last generation. Like people were like, "Oh, Destiny's on Xbox," or "Oh, you can get Star Wars Battlefront 1 on Xbox," because they used to use this big boards in the stores that said exclusive to PlayStation because you had like exclusive bedazzled speeder bike or some crap like that.
Right. Well, that's what they did with Red Dead Redemption 2. I remember that because it was like it said. I remember going exclusive by like a GameStop in the mall. Yeah, it said like a huge sign that said exclusive and it said PlayStation.
Yeah.
Well, that's smart for the Joe Six-Pack who doesn't know what's going on. They look by and they see, oh, well, it's only on PlayStation. You know how many times I've actually had people saying, oh, that's on Xbox? I thought it was only on PlayStation, because they see the advertisements, right?
Yeah.
And let's not forget, the hardcore makes up only 15 to 20% of the market. I would even say less than 20. I say just 15%.
Sure, I do too.
We are not the majority. So the people that are in the know are the people in this chat, us and other podcasters, whatever else, and YouTubers, like we know what's going on. But the majority of people, the 85% of people out there is who they're targeting. They have no idea. So what ends up happening is they target those people. Like there are people out there, I swear, I'm not making this up. There are people out there because of the PS4 generation going into the PS5 generation. They think that Call of Duty is exclusive to PlayStation. They didn't even know it's on Xbox or PC. I swear,
really?
Dude, I'm not making it up, but a lot of these guys are just like, I was about to say soccer moms, soccer dads that just buy a console for their kids, like people that I know in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And, people who, we see them in the parking lots at school and we just shooting the breeze about this and that. Like a lot of them don't have any clue what's going on. And that's what Sony banks on when it comes to marketing. And then when they put a giant sign on Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018 that said exclusive, and then yes, you go up with a magnifying glass, it says exclusive hat and assless chaps. You're right. Right? And so like
I remember right before Red Dead 2, sorry, interrupt.
Yeah.
I remember Red Dead 2, like when the rumors that they were going to have a trailer, the first trailer, there's so many articles or leaks that, some Korean content creator, some Korean storefront leaked that Red Dead Redemption 2 was going to be a timed exclusive on PlayStation 4. And everyone was freaking out because Red Dead was such a big deal. And I'm like, I'm pretty
remember
sure it's like some exclusive content or something. Like you have to read between the lines. Everyone always jumps to the very first thing. I did the same thing with Dying Light 2 because I heard some exclusivity deal, but Xbox just helping them get the game off the ground. So sometimes things happen like that. But
yeah. So like I said, it wasn't massive news, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, the first Grand Theft Auto that showed up on an Xbox console was GTA 4. Like from launch. I mean, the other
Okay.
ones came to Xbox eventually, but when they launched, they were launching only on PlayStation at that point.
yeah, it was like a
And
year
then-
later you got San Andreas on Xbox, like and the port
Right.
was
Yeah,
better.
sorry.
It was more power.
I meant day one releases, yes.
Yeah.
But the first day one release was GTA 4, and that was a multi-platform release.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I should have clarified that just before anybody loses their minds. But no, that's what I meant by that. And then the marketing rights have always been with them anyway. So they either have a long-term deal with Sony, or they're just playing the game of, hey, this is the market leader. We go with the market leader, and the market leader, I'm sure, is more than willing to dish out the cash.
Absolutely.
For Grand Theft Auto, like, what are we talking about here? However, it would have been nice. I mean, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but it would be nice if Microsoft actually showed a little more aggression in that department, because, I mean, if they spent $70 billion on what they've done already, to basically, become a massive third-party publisher, as well as taking care of, in-house, would
They
have been
leave
nice
themselves
to see,
behind too
something.
much.
That would have done something for them.
I was
But,
going to
hey,
ask
whatever,
you.
man.
I was going to ask you, do you think Xbox vied in for marketing or bid into this,
Oh,
or
I'm
did they
sure
just
they
like sit it
did.
out?
I'm sure maybe they did. I can't see them not trying. Wouldn't that be kind of weird?
They just seem to market I don't know how to say it. They do tend to market third-party games that are kind
That
of
fail?
I'm trying to not fail because
That's just being funny.
I know. I'm trying to think of the right word, because Assassin's Creed Valhalla was like the highest selling Assassin's Creed game, and it was marketed by Xbox, right? But
Yes, it was.
Outlaws is kind of what's the word when something is controversial, or I don't know what the word is.
You know what? You're not wrong, because actually a lot of the third-party deals they've done this generation have been controversial. And I mean, even back when they had what the hell was that flying game? Started with an A. Not
Flying
ass
game.
trash. You remember the one where everybody was like Iron Man flying around?
Oh,
EA?
Anthem. Yeah,
Anthem. There you
they
go.
marketed
Like,
Anthem. Yeah.
It started with Anthem, and it went downhill from there. They had
I mean,
4 or
that's
5
not
marketing
fair. I
deals.
mean,
It's
Anthem
not
was
their
supposed
fault.
to be huge, and it absolutely
their
wasn't.
fault.
That was
It's
a
not
good.
Microsoft's
That was a
fault.
good bet.
And that's not damage control, by the way. That's not damage
I
control.
mean, they market last generation. They marketed Jedi
Yeah.
Fallen Order, which turned out to be phenomenal.
Great move.
They
Great move.
marketed Fallout 76 back in 2019, and that was a bad move. That turned out great now, but Star Wars
I mean, we can go
Outlaws,
through the list, but
right?
they marketed Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, they're doing marketing for
see,
Star Wars
that's-
Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws is doing okay, probably. I would think.
That's a solid bet, though, because it's a Star Wars game. It's a big
Yeah.
IP. So actually,
Maybe they aren't
I
that
said,
bad.
I'm not damage controlling from Microsoft at all. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm not. But it's not their fault that those third-party games fell apart. It's not their fault. They looked at some of these games and go, these are winners. These are going to be winners and whatever. And it was the wrong bet. But I mean, how would you know that it would be the wrong bet? And they seem like games that would hit. Remember how everybody reacted when they saw Anthem? Everybody was freaking out.
Oh, it was like going to be the coolest thing ever.
It was going to be the biggest game, biggest game of the generation, this and that, whatever.
Next to Watch Dogs. It was one of those things. Like Watch Dogs looked like it was going to be the game.
Oh,
right?
yeah, dude. Watch Dogs, the way they showed Watch Dogs was going to be the game of the century. And then, well, we all saw what happened.
We're so entitled, though. Like, I know a lot of people felt like Anthem felt really good, but it didn't deliver. But really, in the grand scheme, most of these games have been pretty freaking fun.
I actually had some fun with Anthem. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
it wasn't great, but I mean, it was. Yeah. I just didn't stick with it. That's all. But I had fun with it.
And we deserve the best. Like Midlander says, BioWare fell a while ago. I agree. Yeah, we agree. Yeah, but some of these games.
Here's the thing, though. You know the thing is, Gold. I like it's. I know some people could say we could be entitled as gamers, this and that, whatever.
Sure.
However, we are paying upwards of $70 to $100 for a single game now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so And I understand that, like, if the game does well and the game is great, then you're going to get dozens and maybe even hundreds of hours out of entertainment out of that. That's actually worth its money. However, the upfront cost of $70 to $100 per game, I mean, you got to deliver. It's not $20 we're talking about here, not $25.
It's not that granular, or there's more granular detail to go along with it, because like we're talking about Rocksteady and BioWare and some of our favorite developers that they're supposed to always hit home runs, and they don't. Meg, I want to go through supers and cover the last couple of topics, but I want to let you go, and I'm going to try and just do solo for a few minutes. So I know you've got a busy day ahead of you tomorrow. And
go to the supers. I'm not leaving during supers. Go for it.
Okay. Let's see. We got. Okay, Marcus. Okay, Fonz with the $10 super chat. Fonz says, before he called, it seems some games are now becoming more demanding for the Series S's limited memory pool and becoming harder to develop for. The Series S should have been an all-digital Series X. In my opinion, it was a mistake. Fonz is fully on board that the Series S, it was a mistake, should have never happened. I'm with Fonz in a lot of ways. I feel like the Series S is a little miracle for what it is and what it costs. It's got a great CPU. He's so right. The memory pool, if you're on a PS5 or a mid-level PC, you have at least 12 to 16 gigs of RAM. The Series S only has 10, and that's starting to become below minimum specs, which means a game that's supposed to be multi-platform is going to have a hard time being optimized on Series S. And these games can run on there because of, this folds into that topic I'll talk about when Mag goes. They can do it, but I think it's become such a ball ache that even for major developers, it's become enough of a pain that they're actually speaking up publicly about it. They've tried to stay quiet and be nice, but now it's like cutting into their time and money and their return on investment. RDX Son of Vet says, bye-bye Xbox. Hello, Microsoft Gaming. Gunny with the $5 super chat says, the only Final Fantasy I need at my house isn't on Xbox. It's right here on X and C and your mom. Well, thank you. My mom thanks you back for that. Nerds and Other Legends, thanks for the $5, says, just saying hello. Have a great evening, gents. Glad I could catch the tail end. Yeah. Thank you so much. Max says thank you. I say thank you. Detective Seats, thank you so much for the 20. Says, C, I thought Rockstar predicted mass influx of profits from a new IP and not an existing one in 2025. That was the last shareholder call. Ooh, he's keyed on some more stuff than what Fonz heard. He says, also, Mag, I have completed Astrobot for embargo. Now it's your turn, sir.
I will have it by this weekend, and I will platinum it as well.
When does it come out for everybody?
The 6th.
Hold on, let me look at my calendar.
What's
Bro,
today?
that game's going to be so fun. I saw the clip where you're basically Kratos, Astrobot, you're throwing the act. It's like, that game's going to just be pure joy.
The implementation of the DualSense 5 in the first one was probably the most next-gen experience I've ever played in my entire life. And the funny thing is, I didn't have a PS5 day one. I got it a few weeks later. And you know what sold me on it? You ready for this? You want to talk about fraudulism there, Xbox community? Rand Althor is the one who sold me on the PS5 and Astrobot, because he was talking about it on the Xbox 2 with Jez.
Him and I played it on Party Chat. We were on Xbox. No, we weren't on Xbox Party Chat. We were on PlayStation's chat. We played it for hours together, just gushing like little kids.
And Rand was talking about it for about 15 minutes on the Xbox 2 with Jez, and he's like, when you're skating, I don't know how they did it, but you legitimately feel like you feel the ice, the carving of the blade on the ice. You feel it on the controller. Mm-hmm. You feel every single drop of rain. You actually feel it. You feel the wind. And then of course they implemented that in other games too. Resident Evil 4 remake. You could feel the rain. You can actually feel the creaking of a rusty bridge as you're crossing it and whatever else.
The sand,
it's unbelievable.
The grit of the sand, the tall grass.
The sand. Yes.
So cool.
You feel that. Yeah. And so when I'm listening to Rand talk about that, I'm like, holy crap. Like literally, it was the same thing as I was talking about with the Xbox 360 and Dead Rising. Within 2 days, I had a PS5 in my hands.
Yep.
And I was playing that game. So I was loving that. So I'm getting Astrobot day one. So Detective Seeds, I will I'll see your platinum and I'll raise you a platinum, sir.
Oh, you will. Shout out to Special Nick in the chat. Says, yeah, it's amazing how they did it. Him and I agree. Absolutely. I think Astrobot is the best PlayStation game that they've made for the PS5 generation. I think that's what Special Nick said today. He said it's their best game. I think it is.
I'm gonna mix that with my personal favorite was this generation Horizon Forbidden West and Astrobot were the two best games they released. I actually thought that God of War Ragnarok wasn't very good. And I know that I got the platinum on it, but I actually didn't think it was as good as the first one. It was I think it was overbloated, too long. The story was not whatever. When you got Kratos saying "do better," I'm like, "Oh, you woke asshole! I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Do
That's
better."
A famous line,
dude. Kill him. Pull out your axe and kill the guy. Decapitate him. What? Do better. We must do better for our children. Grow up. Murder him. Be a Klingon. This is death, son. Learn it well.
And that's how you get a full certification from Mag on Ragnarok. Ragnarok was beautiful. I'm like 3/4 of the way through it, and I tried to go back to it a couple months ago, and I don't know. I like the first one.
Magnum already starting. Horizon Forbidden West is boring AF. That only a pony would cap for. Dude, that is the most beautiful game.
It is beautiful, but I don't know. It's not for me, and
I really enjoyed the gameplay. But I mean, that's me. That is
matter.
You. Anyways,
and
that's just me.
And that's it. Like, if you say you love the game, I love that for you. That's fine. Like, that's good. If someone says they love something, you should be happy. They're not going, "Oh gosh, I have to play it." Oh gosh. We've got
Dean, you're right, dude. Ironwood section. What a nightmare. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Andy Hart with the £2 super chat says, I believe Grand Theft Auto 4 was Xbox marketing. I think it was.
Really?
That's why I bought my 360. That's when I actually got a 360. I didn't have one.
Well, then I stand corrected because I thought that Sony had the marketing for all of them. I thought that GTA 4 was the only one that released day one on Xbox.
I could picture the stuff at at the game stores, but I don't remember what logos were on it. I just remember the Nico, my cousin.
Someone in the chat's got to find out for us.
Blah, blah, blah. With the $2 super chat says, Colt going through the Xbox backpedaling is crazy. I mean, I don't know what's crazy about it. I've known about this since the very beginning of 2024. And going through it, I guess, is kind of crazy. Going through Xbox, kind of lying. Like, saying they're going to do all this stuff, saying this is how things are going to be, stringing us along for a decade, saying the games are coming, the games are coming. Yeah, where at? PlayStation.
By the way, NC I think that the 360 had timed exclusive DLC. I'm going to give that credit to NC in the chat.
They did.
He's right, and that's what the exclusive. That's what the marketing was for the DLC they had for the Ballad of Gay Tony. Remember that?
Yeah, and the Lost in the Damned. That was only on Xbox 360 for quite a while, if I remember.
The Lost in the Damned and the Ballad of Gay Tony. And by the way, if you haven't played those, I know it's a long time and they haven't remastered them, but my God, those DLCs were almost better than the original game. And I thought,
I think they were. I think they actually were better than the main game.
They were. The Ballad of Gay Tony is one of the best DLCs I've ever played. Period. And the story was incredible. And the Lost in the Damned, that whole biker sort of Sons of Anarchy vibe to it, was an incredible story. And absolutely worth every minute of it.
I was telling Red Wolf this on the phone the other day, and he'll probably catch this on the replay if he's not here. But he loves Son of Anarchy, and I said the same thing as you said it. Like, it probably doesn't age very well, but if you just played it, and when you can play an old game after a little while, you just kind of, that washes away and you just enjoy the game. Like, it would be one of his greatest experiences.
The Sousa, dude. The Sousa hits us up with this. Can't wait for the Ballad of Non-Binary Tony.
I remember the Ballad of Gay Tony came out in 09.
Sorry, yeah.
It came out in 09. I remember even in 09, I'm like, the Ballad of Tony. Like, dude, that was even back then, saying that was like, can we, are we allowed to say this?
Rockstar can say whatever the hell they want.
That's right, they can.
And you know what? They better not go soft on this new one, eh? I hope they didn't buckle the pressure from anybody, because I need them to go hard. They need to go hard. If they don't go hard, get out of here with that stuff. Because because you know how things are these days. Everybody's real touchy on both sides of the fence. So, you know, all eyeballs are going to be on GTA. And I'm telling you right now, stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Just keep doing what you're doing and do what you've done in the past because it's going to continue. You're going to piss people off. But you know what? Can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. That being said.
And Rockstar will do that. Meg, I'm gonna try and go solo as long as I can get the solo camera overlay working, because I want to cover the games that are missing Xbox. But school's starting for our kids. Life is now going to become insane. I got homework. Did you do your homework? I didn't get homework.
It's gonna be it's a busy week.
Tell everybody what you got going on and
still working on the channel. It's doing well. It's progressing exactly the way I want so far. But still, I'm doing a lot of traveling and stuff, so it's not looking like anything is going to be coming before October. So it's just the way it's going to be. So I'm working on that. I released a new video on Twitter in the meantime. Got a lot of traffic on that. I thought it was pretty funny. Pissed off a lot of people, and you know, and then of course I got people quote tweeting me on stuff, whatever. Anyways,
the reception was good though. It was good.
The reception was good, yeah. But anyways, having fun doing my thing, and then like I said, I'll be hitting the road solo soon enough. Not solo. I'm not leaving here. I'm just saying I'm doing my own thing on top of this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and of course gaming. So I'll see you guys all in the gaming streets. We'll talk to everybody real soon. Everybody, chat, you were amazing tonight. A lot of people showed up tonight. Really happy with that. We had at least 750 at one point drop by. So super happy to see those numbers back up again. And everything's great as the summer comes to an end. Colt, you're the best, dude. We'll do this again next week, man.
I'll see you next week. And I'll stick around here solo. All right, Meg, have a good night, brother.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you all next week.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can, if I turn off my camera, I should be able to go over here. Oh, come on. Really? Come on. Okay, you can still hear me. Hang on a second. That's weird. Well, shoot. Let me try something here. I thought that would just work. You know, it just works. And it would have been full. It would have been full quality. But the only way to do that is by closing what's it called? OBS. Darn it. Well, hold on a second. I'll just go back here. And I'll just go back up here and I'll turn this on. Darn it. You know, I figured that might happen. Let me come back here. And with nothing on the side, we'll still talk because I've got a couple things to cover on the show. You guys want to know what's going on with the Xbox games that are skipping, and there's 3 games and they all have totally different reasoning. The first one, I take it to the limit, says Fonz. The very first one I want to cover, which is the oldest one, is the Black Myth WuKong thing. And I had hinted on this show about 3 or 4 weeks ago that maybe there was some deal going on. I didn't quite believe it. We'd heard King David from Iron Lords talked about it. He said he heard it from somebody directly working at Xbox. I didn't want to dive into that because I get super dicey. But now Paul Tassi spoke up just a few days ago and said that he's hearing from a very reliable source that PlayStation money-hatted the game. That they, at some point, it was funny to listen to John Linneman from Digital Foundry, who said, I don't think it's a money-hatted game. But then he turned around and said, it's probably one of those things where PlayStation paid to keep it off of Xbox. It's kind of how he said it. And I thought, that's kind of weird because that's literally an exclusive money-hatted ordeal. He also followed that up. Fonz is going to love this because we talked about this last week. He also followed up and said, they're probably delaying the game on Xbox because of the Series S. And he says, by all rights, that game shouldn't be on console at all because it doesn't run very well even on the PS5. And he says for many games run better on PS5 than over Series X. So he can see why it shouldn't even be on console at all. So what we're hearing from Paul Tassi and even Jez Corden from Windows Central is that they are very confident in who they've talked to, that PlayStation paid to get the game onto console instead of waiting to get on their console. But also to me looks like they paid some money to keep it off of Xbox. And my most angry, villainous reasoning would be that PlayStation said, look, here's some extra money. We'll help you get the game on console. Get it, instead of waiting, get this thing on here. This is going to be a hot ticket item on our console. And, you know, you could just tell everybody, hey, we don't have the Xbox version ready because of technical issues. They'll just assume it's a Series S. It's a win-win. You get 2 birds stoned at once, as my boy Ricky from Trailer Park Boys would say. I think it's kind of a joke that I'm saying that, but maybe it's one of those things where like, just tell them it's not ready on the Xbox and they'll just fill in the blanks and we win either way. And they're not paying money to say, hey, screw Xbox over, but they're paying to have an advantage to get that game on PlayStation as soon as possible. And I stand by that game's not ready for console. Fonz is playing it on a $4,000 PC. He's got an i9. He's got a 4090 GPU, like 3 times more powerful than a PS5, and he still has to bring it down to 1440 because it can't hold frame rate. So WuKong is the reason why I skipped Xbox, because some Moneyhat thing. I really don't like that this like other panels over here, but whatever. I strive for professionalism here on the XSC podcast. The other game that popped up today was Intria, The Last Song. This is a game that has over almost 500,000 views that was showcased a month ago, 10 days ago. I think it was 13 days ago. I'm trying to remember. I didn't write that down. This is a Souls-like game that looks very much like Liza P. You're playing as like a mechanical humanoid type human or character or machine, and it's very just Liza P. It's a Souls-like game. It looks more like Liza P than anything. Looks really cool. It's running at 60. The developers and the CEO said the port is ready for Intria Last Song, but Xbox is ignoring them. A quote from the CEO says, quote, the context is an open store page and submission. We've got the Xbox Series X and S version ready, but we can't proceed with submission and release. I spent a lot of time for porting and they decided to ignore us, close quote. There are other quotes and other sites from the developer of this studio that's making Intria Last Song, which is a Souls game, where they said that they've had a problem with the store and they've got the game ready and Xbox has ignored them for 2 months. I don't know. I think there's 2 sides to every story. Maybe this studio did something that broke terms of service or was going against the grain for terms of service, and Xbox told them maybe one time, hey, you need to fix this in order to be certified. And they're like, why can't you just certify it? I don't know. I tend to think a developer doesn't lie, but this is an exclusive problem to Xbox console. You don't hear about PlayStation games or Nintendo games not coming to their console because of a problem with their porting process or their certification. Black Myth being a different situation where it looks like PlayStation paid to get an advantage on their console, which created an exclusivity agreement. And now Intria, Last Song, the game, is not there because of a certification or red tape reason for Xbox. The other one that came out just hours after this announcement today was Dune: The Awakening, which is a third-person shooter, a Conan Exiles developer that is making this world-building game or this creation game in the universe of Doom. We saw it at Gamescom. It looks kind of cool. People are like, because these games typically don't really show well. But Conan became kind of a little viral underground hit. No Man's Sky, games like that where you create the world and live in it and you build your base and stuff. They tend to have their really cool communities. But the Dune Awakening said the game is delayed because of the Series S. Holy crap, I didn't put the, let me get the actual quote for you. Since those of you who are here who don't follow all the news, thank you for being here while I cover it to the best of my ability. Here it is. This reporter from Shinobi602 says, quote, it's one of the reasons we're coming out on PC first. There's a lot of optimization we need to do before we release on Xbox. But yeah, Series S is a challenge. This comes directly from the developer at the studio that's making Dune Awakening. So it's a really bad look that Xbox has a Series S problem. I'm going to say this just full out. Xbox has a Series S problem. They have a certification and porting problem. And they also have a problem not jumping onto games that could be skipping their platform. And I think this year, it seems we've heard about a dozen games that just aren't coming to Xbox because the developer are like, Xbox hasn't done anything. They're not reaching out, or maybe they're not sending support. Jez Corden also said that maybe the ID at Xbox, their program that helps indie developers, they had major cutbacks for funding. He said maybe some cutbacks have caused some problems where Xbox isn't looking out across the landscape and finding out what problems need to be solved. But this seems to be a problem that's only happening to Xbox. And if you're an Xbox console only user, you're literally missing out on games because Xbox is riding the pine. They're sitting on the bench instead of going out there and finding out how they can become an empowering developer company. And they say these words. Sarah Bond says these things. We want to empower developers and creators to create great games for people to play. And then they're allowing them to be on PC and saying, sorry, Xbox console, we don't have enough funding or any, we're not giving the proper notice and labor to get those things on the console. And it's really starting to frustrate people who are wondering, like, I had a super chat earlier, why are you making a new console when you're not properly supporting the one you have now? I think it's a big problem. Fawn says, I want great games. I don't care who makes them. Yeah, thank you for that. Hi, Epic Treasure. Good to see you in the chat. That's funny. I had this really great solo overlay, but the way that Discord and OBS look at my camera, it wants me to close it before it's going to look at my camera, and that's super crummy. So I don't know how else to fix that. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a problem we're going to continue to see until, and Xbox is not speaking up about it. Like, it's frustrating for me, who's trying to help get you guys in the know of what's going on, what games are coming to the platform. Like I said at the very beginning of the show, I saw a bunch of games at PAX that Xbox had partnered with Thunderful Games. I'm pretty sure that was the developer, the team that brought us Planet of Lana. I played like 2 or 3 other games that they're like, oh yeah, we're coming day and date to Game Pass. Xbox is helping with development. And that's been like 2 years. Those games I've never heard of them again. They might even be canceled. I don't know. It's just so frustrating that it seems to be so difficult to get games out right now. So I don't know. I think it's become a problem. Mash, who's been a member for 6 months, says, where did Mag say he heard about Sony marketing deal with GTA 6? And he says, Redman. I'm surprised Mag said this, but he said it was somebody he talks to that lives in Redmond, which is the location where Xbox offices are now. I don't press Mag on these things, but according to him, he has somebody he talks to that knows what's going on. And I kind of prod him a little bit by saying, hey, I heard this, and he's heard the same thing. So I don't know. It's just people I talk to that are in the know. I talk to people that work at places. So I only get to hear things by privilege, and I usually don't get to speak about them because they're things that I just can't repeat because it just doesn't do anybody any good. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys are interested in Dune Awakening. I know a lot of people are probably interested in Black Myth Wukong, but this, what's it called? Inotria. Like, a lot of Xbox fans today on social media were replying to me and saying, game looks mid, we're not missing out. I'm like, that's not the right attitude. The attitude should be you're a consumer, not the consumer. And I can look at a game and go, I will never play this Intria game. It's a Souls-like. I won't enjoy it because I'll just get punished. I typically don't enjoy those games, but I can look at a game easily and say, there's going to be a lot of people that enjoy that. And to see them go, we can't get on the console because Xbox isn't fixing or bridging the gap with this problem they have. Like I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if the developers for Intria Last Song, there's like some kind of hiccup in their process, or they're doing something that just isn't correct. And Xbox is like, look, we told you have to fix this to pass certification. And they're like, we can't. Like, in the region we live, this is how we have to do things. We don't know that. But this seems to be a problem that only Xbox console is having. I mean, it's asinine to me that Xbox puts all these games on PC and they go to PC no problem, but their console is so restricted in the process. And I've heard from people that they call it the documentation, which is the procedure and instructions that they use to port the game, get it through certification, so it passes certification with achievements and all that stuff that I don't understand. But Xbox's process takes twice as long as it does for PlayStation. And there seems to be some barricades that allow some developers to just say, you know what, we're not ready. It's too much work. It's a problem. And I think if Xbox doesn't step out in front of this immediately, hire some people, like hire a small team and say, look, here's where our problem is. There's this black hole in the middle of our procedure that gets games onto Xbox. Fix this. And I feel like personally, Xbox is like, oh, well. And that bothers me because we don't hear any speak up about this. Like, I would say there's probably been close to a dozen games this year that have not come to Xbox, being retro fighting games, Capcom games, other indie games, really small games, early access games, and stuff like that have not come to Xbox, and they're on Switch. One of the things that I didn't bring up in the beginning was when I was at PAX, I said that Xbox doesn't have a presence. I mean, everything, you see things that say we're only on Steam, like they have these logos. And then you see games where it's like Steam, Epic, PlayStation, Switch. And it was so rare for me to see the Xbox logo where developers are out there saying, hey, we've got everything covered, and Xbox seems to be an afterthought. And Xbox built themselves into this major platform where they can become one of the greatest empowerers and developer platforms. And they also have all these studios, 33 studios creating games, and PlayStation still has released 27 games this generation. Xbox released 21. And they have 3 times more studios than PlayStation, or at least 2 times. It's really frustrating to see Xbox have that stopgap in what they're doing. Yeah, I don't know. Shout out to 500 people who are hearing me give this rant about games. I really don't like to see people give excuses for Xbox. People are mad at me because I'm saying what's going on with the Series S, what's going on with their certification, what's going on with games skipping Xbox. Oh, not you again. You're going to be negative. It's so important for us to speak up and say, hey, I mean, at Jason Ronald and say, hey, Jason, is your team involved with this at all? Hey, Xbox, or hey, at XP3 or Sarah Bond, hey, are you guys aware of this? Or do you have anything you want to say? And sometimes they might speak up. I have a feeling this has become a massive PR thing where somebody's not ready to speak up. But as fans, as long as you're constructive, as long as you don't say, why are you guys turds? Because I see it a lot, like people at leadership at Xbox with insults. I mean, they just block that crap. And I don't blame them. I do too. When people come at me and make fun of me or call me a name when they want to give constructive criticism, it's really hard to listen. I can't take someone seriously that makes personal insults over video games. I've done it before. I try not to. Yeah, it's it's a whole thing, but Xbox needs to fix these problems, especially if they're going to have this hybrid console where they're allowing all these games on PC to be playable. This console needs to be like so easy to put games on. And it could be in the future, the Xbox console has far more games that are not console Xbox versions. Jax82, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Colt, you are the best. Thank you so much. I'm not drinking Mountain Dew. I'm trying to give it up so I could be healthier. It's wearing on my soul. It's such a big part of me. I don't depend on Mountain Dew. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah. Fawn says Mountain Dew Zero. I tried. It tastes like salt water to me. It tastes like drinking from the ocean. I'm so used to sugar. Yeah. Epic Treasure says Colt tries to behave, but it comes out every now and again. It does. My friends who know me the most watch me reply to 700 people, and then 14 of them call me some horrid name or make fun of the way I look or use a mental disability slur or whatever. And sometimes you're just like, I just can't be Bruce Banner anymore. I just need to tell somebody to shut the F up. And sometimes I do. I don't know. That's just how it is. But I don't know. The port thing dropped today, those 2 games, and it's frustrating as an Xbox fan and someone who covers a lot of the Xbox stuff to see Xbox just, I don't know, somebody tweeted out today that Xbox is like the person is trying to cut a piece of bread and put cheese on it. I'm just going to paraphrase it. And Xbox is like the person that tries to cut the bread with their hand and then take the cheese and shove it up their rear end. And it just seems like they do things the most difficult way. PlayStation's copying what Xbox does. Xbox should copy some of the things that PlayStation does really well. And I would say one of the reasons why I like the Xbox platform is they do most things really, really well. Their value is unmatched. Their variety and genres is unmatched. Their value and choice, you don't get on any other console. You don't get the ability to play these on cloud, on TVs, on PC or whatever. And I don't know. I think they've got all this stuff going for them. And you just need to take off of the playbook of some of the other stuff that's working for PlayStation. But yeah, Punty says, as long as you don't switch to Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is also one of my favorite drinks. Maybe it's Coke is my second and Dr. Pepper is my third. But yeah, I don't know. I just love Mountain Dew. To me, just tastes like pure golden heaven sunshine, and everything is so pleasant about it. And I'm not even I don't even want the caffeine. I just want the flavor. So when Vaughn says Mountain Dew Zero, I'm like, I can't do it. And the depression that I would go through during the acclimation to Mountain Dew Zero, I don't think I can make it. Jack says, BioShock, Mass Effect, Halo 360 Gen was the greatest. Yeah, it was. It was. But I also think that 2018 was one of the peak years of gaming. If the 360, like 2010s, I think it was 2010, Mass Effect 2, Red Dead Redemption 1, Just Cause 2. What else was in 2010? Write them in the chat, the 2010 games. It was a phenomenal year. I think it hasn't really peaked again until 2018. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Spider-Man, God of War, Far Cry 5, it is a good game. What else was in 2018? Forza Horizon 4. I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider was really great. It was a really great year. So, yeah, where's my water? I don't have any water here. I'm drinking this 0-calorie drink. Yeah, I don't know. There's just been so many great games. I feel like 2025 might be another banner year. Ben Knapp says Far Cry 5 is like America in 2024. Far Cry 5 is kind of scary in how much it nails that crazy religious cult thing going on out there in the backcountry. What a great vibe. That game had no business being as good as it was. And I think people write it off because it's Far Cry, but it's actually a pretty brilliant game. So yeah. And shout out to all of you in the chat, that blue number, Lotus Esprit, that game adaptation newscast, Magnum, Epic Treasure, True 77, OG, all of you who are here every week. We're making small changes on the podcast, just very, very small. I'm going to try and bring guests on every week. We're at PAX, so I didn't get anybody for this week, and I think things went okay. We're going to be covering more than just Xbox. Like, I want to be able to talk about the multiplats too, and we mostly do on the show. And no, we're not going to talk about PlayStation, but we do like to talk about PlayStation when it's relevant. So no, I mean, this is a great place to talk about what Xbox is doing. But yeah, I just like to be able to on the channel. If I want to make an Assassin's Creed video, can I do that? And I felt like I've felt restricted, but you guys have been amazing. Your support's been phenomenal. I'm exhausted. I've almost lost my voice, and please motivate me to make a video this week. It's been a month and 1 week since I made a video. I've never gone that long in the 6 years I've been doing this content, mostly because we were at PAX. We went on family vacation the week before. There's been so much going on. No more excuses. There's lots to talk about. I'm going to be getting early access for games. I got Star Wars Outlaws, and I didn't even really get to dive into it. So you guys are amazing. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all of you. I'm going to get out of here and call it a night. Hit the like button on your way out. We appreciate it. And thanks to Happy Bomb. I don't think I saw, and there's Red Wolf, who's also a mod. Red Wolf says, make a video. I don't think I saw you donning here today. If I didn't, I missed. Happy Bomb, thank you so much for all the work you do behind the scenes and taking care of everything. You guys are the greatest. Fonz, the XP newscast, the experience newscast. You know, you never know. It is good to level up in this world. I'm going to get out of here. Where's my overlay? Guys, you're amazing. I've said it many times. I'll see you next week, and hopefully maybe a video this week. All right, that's it. I'm going to go hit the outro. It's right here. Bye, guys. So much more to come. See you later.